Come.
Hello, everybody!
Come.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons. How are we all doing today?
Yeah, still kicking. We are currently sans mucks because of fatherly, parently duties,
But Mux,
Poop, did you scoop whoop?
apparently duties. But yeah, we are here. It is great to be back. Big thank you to Cass last week for running an absolutely fucking wonderful one-shot, the Tourney of Truce.
That was fucking excellent.
Which was so good.
Hell yeah.
It was so enjoyable. I thought it was just so good. So absolute kudos to Cass. From like really interesting characters that we know to ones we haven't seen before to ones we've heard before but not seen before to like plot twists that I wasn't expecting at all. To really interesting guests we had on as well. It was really good. So shout out to Cass for running that. You ran that absolutely excellently.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you all had fun. I hope you all had fun, but sounds like you did. So, and yeah, thanks to Nix and Tio as well for coming along, and thank you all for being wonderful receptives for yes-anding your way through a bit of a crazy breakneck speed one shot. It was a lot of fun.
While we don't have Mugs here, I wanted to talk about a joke I made about Nyx. There was a TikTok I saw of somebody like casting a spell or making, I think it was somebody making a dad joke and rising off the ground as everybody laughed. And I was like, this is Nyx's character whenever they cast any type of spell in any D&D campaign.
Pretty much.
Every time Nyx is like, all right, I want to be a warlock, and every time I cast something cool, I levitate off the ground. All right.
Does Nyx play warlocks? Is that Nyx's class?
Nyx plays a warlock? No, never.
I really don't think. Yeah.
No, definitely not. Nyx would never play a warlock. No.
I remember. I don't mind saying this. Like I said to Nyx, remember I was like, oh, so we're doing a one shot. Like it's so it's like 4 hours. Usually I recommend and I do this myself when playing a one shot. Try something you haven't done before or in a while. Try and experience something new. And there was like a beat, and then she went, I think I'm gonna play warlock. And I was like, yep, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I will never argue.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and in my one shot, Nyx is also going to be playing a warlock.
No.
And it is also going to be another drow warlock.
A drow as well.
Yeah, a drow. So same as was yours. They're different characters. I cannot stress this. They are different characters with different subclasses, but they are both warlocks that are both drow.
I thought she was playing a CD warlock.
Her last one giggled, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it terrifying a little bit?
Yeah.
It was like and then cursed the shit out of you.
Yeah, she was an e-girl, right? E-girl warlock.
Yeah.
And then
oh god.
And then for the one shot you like, she's playing a CD warlock.
As a CD warlock?
CD's nuts!
Do you not see that?
No!
I can't believe this.
I can't believe
Hidiomi's nuts.
I knew as soon as I opened my mouth, I knew as soon as I said it.
Dude, yeah. I was like, is it happening? Is it happening? So,
Chris has been waiting for this moment for so long.
Dude, it's so good. I mess with Alaska's spell slots a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mess with her spell slots, did you?
Well, yeah, that's what we call it nowadays. We mess with each other's spell slots.
Woo.
But now she's got a bunch of just terrifying, essentially people-controlling spells. You have Fear, which is pretty self-explanatory, and it casts in a cone. You have Enemies Abound. Reach into the mind of one creature, force it to make a saving throw. The target loses the ability to distinguish friend from foe. So
me after 4 cans of Stella.
Who's friend? Who's foe? I don't know. The beer is taken over. I can't tell you.
You get the
I'm not driving the car anymore. It's the beer.
the
So good.
classic Uriel Sabrethan ability, blindness and deafness, which I think you would have a
Incredible.
sick time with. I switched out one of your feats, so you now have invisibility, that you can cast for a minute, I believe it is. As
Is that like
well,
once per short rest or once per long rest
I
type thing?
think so. Let me check on it here.
Uh,
There's no
I,
mouse here, so I have to trackpad it.
I buffed
Oh, it's
Drazian,
up to
so
1 hour. Holy shit!
oh, it's no,
Yeah,
does it not say a limit on how much you can
it's
cast
once
it?
per long rest. It's
Yeah, it's a once per long
concentration up
rest.
to an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Shadow Touch Charisma. That also gives this bonkers ass first level spell for free. That's inflict wounds. It's just a fucking. It's a first level spell. You get to
Inflict
cast
wounds?
it once for free. Yeah. And it's just like 3d10 necrotic damage.
You've got to inflict the wounds.
Inflict
Champion.
wounds, champion.
Inflict wounds, champion. Azeroth is crying out.
Do you know
As
what?
it
is.
It works quite well as well because up until this point, like inflict wounds has kind of been Drazian's MO. So now like Lilith and Drazian both have the inflict wounds thing going.
You're totally right.
Lilith was like, it's kind of cute.
I'll
Cloud of
have me some
Daggers
that.
obviously still there.
Inflict my wounds, Drazian.
Oh,
Say, yo.
ayo!
This one I think Lilith could have a ton of fun with. This was called Crown of Madness. One humanoid of your choice that you can see got to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you. While the target is charmed, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on its head and madness glows in its eyes. It must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself that you choose. The target can attack normally on its turn if you choose no creature or if none are within its reach. You must use your action to maintain control over the target or the spell ends. And I think you just putting a dope-ass crown on people would be sick.
And a
It's
puppet.
very Crescent City
Yeah.
for anyone who's read Crescent City.
I also
the crown
did-
itself is very like fucking Jesus Christ crown of thorns type thing as well. Like I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's how it's always been flavored. It literally digs into your skull.
Yeah,
Because
that's exactly what I want.
It seeps into your brain.
Oh yeah, that's what I want.
So
Well, actually,
also,
it's Jesus Crustacean, the crown of coral. But
Yeah.
I understand, like,
Cultural language differences.
I understand the localization. I get it.
It's the localization.
I can't believe Christianity ripped off my OC.
I've
also just so you know, I was just sorry to interrupt. Just so you know, now your charisma's 20. You have a +5. Your spell save is 16. It's your spell save DC. So they have to roll a 16 in order to save against all that instead of like the 13 that it was. And you have a +11 to persuasion and deception.
Cute.
Yeah, so we fucked
I'm
with
ready
your
to
character.
kill people.
Yeah, we fucked
Yeah.
with your character a little bit.
I kind of did
kill.
the same with Drazian as well.
Yeah, because you need him to be more powerful.
Because I hit 5th level, I got access to some very fun spells that I can't wait to fuck around with. And I've changed up his spells a little bit to make him like more all-out attacking, essentially. So he has essentially become even more the canon of the group. I got rid of Tasha's Mind Whip because it wasn't really like doing much for me.
I'm sorry, did you see the one shot?
Yeah.
Did you see the one shot? Did you
Yeah.
see Nordle the Turtle
I was
fucking
there.
annihilate Cass's second group with Tasha's Mind Whip? Totally
Yeah.
fuck up that encounter.
I give Dracian something a little better. And something that's very in theme with him as well. So he's got 3 new spells. One of them is an old favorite of Cass's. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I want it to be a moment when it happens to be used and people go like, oh wow, he's got that spell now. And then I've got like 2 more lightning based spells which are very fucking cool that I am very, very excited to unleash on whatever unwitting enemies we go up against.
I am also
yeah.
buzzed. Yeah, I have a Kyler has hit a breakthrough as well, like in character, which has reflected a bit with the level up and stuff. So I'm buzzed.
Incredible.
Oh yeah. Hey, Mux,
And
let's
we
go.
have
Character
Mux.
moment.
Kaz just gone to grab coffee.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So we're just chatting about like
Is this
upgrades.
greasy
that we've
line
given.
cook Mux?
no,
Oh
it's
my
Silent
god,
Bob
it kind of
Mux.
is.
It's Dallas Cowboys Mux.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
Oh my god!
Yo.
It's the hat. It's the hat from me.
Cat's actually away from her desk. The
I
plane is
am absolutely
traveled,
muting and
like,
unmuting my mic as we go.
Mux,
Incredible.
I'm gonna need you to like. I can't. This is not gonna be a. This is not gonna be
We're
a
in
good.
hostess brain right now.
Yeah, I'm in front of house. Like, God, this back of house staff is. Am I drunk and delirious and tired, or is this man fuckable? I don't know.
well, that's how
Me
I
every
get
time working at a bar.
Literally.
I've just seen Darcy's comment in chat.
Yeah.
That's already been done.
I was gonna say, didn't that?
That
Did we
literally
do that?
happened.
Did we do that?
Was it worth? Was it worth? Was it?
with the past 15 minutes.
We know how that went. But yeah, we've just been talking about like little character upgrades that we have done. Before we launch into the episode tonight, does anybody have any announcements they would like to make?
I love Chris.
I also
What?
like Chris.
That's so crazy. Same. Weird.
And we are going to Kings Island tomorrow, actually.
I mean, it is an announcement. It's very fun. We're very excited. Okay, on to your scheduled content.
Incredible.
I'm about ready to crack on, I reckon.
Not really my announcement per se. My lovely wife, Alex Reyes in chat there, the one saying "breed me," is going to be streaming this week and is currently a toss-up between Simpsons Hit and Run and
Good.
Bratz. It's either Rock Angels or Forever Diamonds. One of
Rock
the two.
Angels all the
Rock
Rock
way.
Angels.
Angels, Rock Angels,
That's
Rock Angels.
Not
Rock
even a
Angels.
competition.
God, I can't wait to watch that.
Mux, is it gonna be a titty stream?
If you've ever seen one of Darcy's streams, it's always a titty stream.
It's the meta. What can we say?
It's the titty meta.
Titty meta.
True.
I have a quick announcement as well. Not this coming Friday. Friday after that. Here on stream, we will be doing a special one shot on a Friday, not on a Sunday. The Sunday campaign will continue as normal, but that means we will have double D&D that week. I will be running Goosefire Gaming.
Double D's.
Double D's?
Double D's nuts in your mouth.
Nobody's nuts. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to be running Goosefire Gaming, Citadel of the Unseen Sun, with some wonderful, wonderful players. We have our dearest Muxlo. You're going to get to see Muxlo, our wonderful DM, as a player, which I am very excited to see. It's my first time that I'm going to get to DM for Mux, and I'm very excited for that. We also have the lovely Kat, who has like appeared in every single one shot so far. She has become our regular one shot a tier, if you will.
Who's Chris?
To like get into every class ever.
Yeah, Chris isn't going to be in this one, although there are going to be 5 other players besides you two guys.
Crazy. Wasn't invited. Wild. Yeah, that's fine.
Crazy.
I asked, you didn't answer. Alaska answered, but you didn't.
I did, but I'm too busy. So.
Alaska answered. She said no, but she answered.
Yeah.
I mean,
She
it's,
said,
I
"Fuck
suppose.
no, you horrible, ugly slut," but she did answer.
Okay.
You
Call me
whore.
Regina George, whatever the fuck that means.
But yeah,
You
we
whore.
we have Mux, we have Kat, we have Kat's lovely partner Hunter is going to be in there as well. Scar, who's a regular on a lot of me and Cass's streams. We will have Nyx, who is playing another warlock, and
I love that motherfucker.
Yeah, Nyx playing another warlock, which will be fantastic. I'm actually really excited for Nyx's character. We like went through a lot of world lore for it, so it's going to be like very heavily incorporated into the world. So it's going to be very fucking cool. And then we also have have I forgot anyone? Oh yeah, we've got Aurora, who's going to be playing a blood hunter, and then we have a good friend of the servers, Lady K, will also be in there playing a necromancer too. So it's going to be a fairly fully stacked party, and I'm like kind of shitting it for for like running a game for that many people on stream. So would very much appreciate if everyone would tune in for that. That's not going to be this coming Friday, but Friday after that. And then on Tuesday, assuming availability is lined up and everything, we will be running table talks, just covering the Tourney of Truce one shot and this week's episode as well. I think that is it as far as announcement goes.
No, Max, no. Max, no. Max, no, please. Sorry, I've got these guys on the Roll20. I've got them on the like world map, and there's a giant cock and balls.
Incredible.
No, Max,
Great guys, Uriel was here. Okay.
I don't have anything to announce, so.
Oh,
Uriel Sabrathan was here.
may his massive cock live on forever.
I heard Uriel Sabrathan.
The hearts and minds of his
That's a
fans.
gigantic wiener.
All right.
Is there Uriel Sabrathan like can you buy like a mold of Uriel?
I was gonna
Sabrathan?
say
I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering, like, you know, is there like a
sent in from the fangirls.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All that his holy mace.
I'm just saying, if we were gonna make merch, if we were gonna make merch, I think like molds.
It would be
like,
one for each character.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that would be really great. Like,
it's a very
fuck
different
your own Dungeons and Dragons. I think it would be good.
It's a very different kind of sacking of Avon.
Jesus Christ.
I was thinking.
Anyway,
I was like,
right. If everyone
Rest
is
your face,
ready
mold of
and
frogs,
we've
asshole.
done and we've done all our announcements, let us get into this week's episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons. You're back.
Incredible timing.
This is going to turn into one of the... Is this going to like be like whenever Critical Role do their intros, it's always like the group try and like throw out whatever they can at Matt to make him break character? Is this going to turn into...
It's sounding like it.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen. How this is our lives now.
Oh my
God. For those of you who don't remember what happened on the last episode of Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons,
I'll ask her.
it was 2 weeks ago now, in person, not in game time. The party had found themselves in the town of Hell's Prairie, investigating a matter given to them by Professor Udice, one of the many faculty members at True Arms Academy. In doing so, they had gotten themselves into a little bit more than they had realized. Originally thinking they were doing a simple retrieval job, go to an area, you know, fight some bad guys, pick up an item. They found themselves embroiled in some small town politics, making a friend who got beaten up, making a deal with the mysterious individual known as the Sheriff, and finding themselves trawling through a underground dungeon which had some
familiar faces for some members of the party, and for other members of the party, just looked like a good source of loot until they got to the final room in the dungeon where there was this very strange ritual set up. And as they approached, the elf that has been recurring so far in their adventure met an untimely fate as Kronk, for lack of a better word, glocked the motherfucker with a ballista. Causing
Ballista
him
whip.
yeah. Caused him to fall back onto an ancient artifact, which turned him into a chimera of sorts. A unholy fusion of many kinds of different monsters. Those above land at the time could hear Uriel Sabrathan's cry from afar. But yes, as that happened, the party fought this chimera and killed it. The landing blow being dealt by the invisible at the time, coming out of the invisibility, Geraldine Boulevard. As the chimeric beast falls down, nearly activating whatever the symbol on the floor was. The only person recognizing it currently being Drazian, but not sharing the information with the rest of the party. As the creature fell, and this whatever was about to happen was interrupted. A silence fell on the room. The party all leveled up from last session. And as the body of this once mortal, now monstrosity lays on the floor, bleeding onto this strange symbol that is drawn in some sort of fine dust powder on the floor. The rest of the party now sees Geraldine Boulevard standing in the corner of the room, surrounded in this very faint kind of galaxy-esque aura that fades after a moment, and the room falls silent.
Good timing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Kronk just walks over to Geraldine and like grabs her in a big bear hug and like spins her around and drops her said, "Oh, I'm glad you showed up. That was very convenient. I missed you."
Missed you too, buddy.
The corpse of the chimera like figure, where is it sort of relative to the room and stuff, and like how does it look?
I'll put us back onto the thing so I can show
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
the
I'll
fucking
put us
yeah?
on
There's
the
AOE. Is the AOE dispersed as well?
I'm just seeing the world map on screen.
Yes, the all AoEs are dispersed.
Cool. So I'm not gonna just go like I would like to, and then no, you've been slashed to death by some fucking guy.
No.
Cloud of Daggers is still up. Did you know?
It might be.
I mean, technically it would be, but also, as soon as I'm assuming, like as soon as the danger went, it probably just went. Poof.
No, Lilith kind of sucks sometimes.
True.
I could disperse it if I had
That
to.
look though.
I think Kyle's gonna like kind of pistol jump, like kind of like a squat, and then jump off the table, and then kind of go and approach the chimera and like shut the fellow's eyes. Kind of leaning a little bit, like kind of just like you know, like Kyle's not hurt, but kind of just breathing like that was
Squishy the patchy.
yeah, Brisketta and Pache kind of vibes. Kind of, yeah. There you go. Respect for the dead.
I think
and
I
then,
played that game.
and then kind of look across at the back of the room and be like, Geraldine? I thought that was you, but I always
Yeah.
knew you were a star, but
Yeah, hi, yeah, hi. I'm gonna walk up towards where the rest of the group seems to be.
Oh, I'm just still standing in the corner. I'm not moving from there. I'm mad.
Okay.
Drazen at this point is knelt down by the sigil.
do you know what it is?
Are you saying that in character? Do I know what it is?
Yeah, I was saying that to you. Yeah, that was not a Scottish accent, my friend.
It's hard to tell with you at some point.
Sorry. Let me get you. Wow,
Now you know what it is. That wasn't a Scottish accent, mate. I don't know what to tell you.
Gee Willikers, buddy. What is it?
Uh,
Well, zoink, Scoob.
that
It was
is
like a Scooby snack.
that is something that should not be here. That does not make sense to be here.
Yes.
Do you think he's ever not gonna be cryptic?
Geraldine, your family are kind of dicks. No offense.
Geraldine's just gonna uncomfortably look over at Draze and go, "You literally know nothing. So, okay."
Look,
Ooh.
Geraldine, we're not expecting you to tell us everything, but someone associated with your family just tried to blight me and the rest
But
of
we,
us here.
but we should have known. At that point, Lilith is mad. She's walking over.
I
She's
mean,
like, we didn't need to know your whole history, but we should have known what we were walking into. If anyone was going to know, it would have been you. And when we needed you most, you disappeared.
Look, guys, we all have
Oh,
a shit.
so you think I know what's going on here?
do you?
Guys,
Well,
Well,
do
Well,
you?
it would have been nice to be asked instead of just accused to start.
all right, everyone shut up for 1 second. Look, we all have our shit, okay? We all have things we'd like to keep to ourselves, and look, for the most part, we should be afforded that respect. I think that's it's a perfectly reasonable thing to want. But when our shit starts to bleed into the group, that's the point where we need to be open with each other. And look, this is one of those moments. Kyler, you asked about this symbol. Do any of you know what this is?
Do any of us
I
know
don't.
what this is, Max?
If anybody would like to roll a religion check, go ahead.
Oh, I'll roll a religion check. I have a plus to religion now. Finally.
I got
I'm
a
not gonna
10.
bother. Kronk
Yes,
doesn't
that's a 6. There you go.
Where is that?
know. It's down here. There you go, babe.
It kind of looks like a starfish.
It's what.
I rolled an 18.
There you go.
Surprisingly, Lilith, you actually do know this. You have seen it before.
Okay, let's go.
Drazian. But I
Does
will allow
Drazen showed it to
Drazian.
you in his journal?
Yes. I will
Okay.
allow Drazian to explain.
Next to the love letter.
Okay, it's one of the symbols.
Yeah, next to the Dre Hearts Lil.
Look, what this is it's one of the symbols of Tiamat. She's the goddess of chromatic dragons. In a lot of circles, she's seen as an evil god, but that's not the truth. She's no more evil than Bahamut or your Deep One, Kyla, or any of the main gods that you see worshipped here in White Fawn or across Eltenian. She's the goddess of chaos and primordial change, and that's not evil, because sometimes change is needed. Sometimes the world gets broken and it needs to be fixed. And sometimes people need hope. People like me, yes, surprisingly enough, people like me need hope. She may not be some delicate figure bathed in holy light. That's not always what hope is. Sometimes hope is being covered in dirt with blood on your fists. And sometimes it's the shrapnel of an explosion in your hair while you struggle to your feet and spit out the blood in your mouth and try again. Like I keep seeming to have to do, over and over again. And for me and my family, And at this point, Drazian opens his journal and shows you all the symbol. It's like Tiamat, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and you hear him whisper, "Come on, Azuria, it's all right." And you see this like midnight blue dragon crawl out of Drazian's coat and perch on his shoulder, kind of sitting there.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
Tiamat and this dragon have been the only hope that my family have had for years.
Hey, where'd you get that?
It's been under the guard of my mother and my mentor for many, many years. And look, I don't know why her symbol is here. It shouldn't be here. It doesn't make sense. And I don't know what Geraldine's family's involvement is in this. But I intend to find these things out.
You've said.
And
And
look,
Kyle's kind of looks at the lizard for a minute, is like, kind of position it like, so I get what you mean, dude. Like, you know, tsunamis aren't evil, but people still don't like them. But I think what it is there's people who use, you know, good works for bad and bad works for good.
no,
And
Kylo, it's not even that. It doesn't make sense. Tiamat followers, even the fanatics, don't believe in scientific experimentation. Like, yeah, you have like crazy fanatical cults who'll go and kill people, but this isn't Tiamat's MO, is what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
Well, if none of it makes sense, wouldn't that kind of be like Tiamat you just said was kind of chaotic, right? Wouldn't that kind of make sense that it didn't make sense?
No, her chaos is very specific. It's about primordial change when things are wrong and they need fixed. When a country occupies another country and enslaves its people, soldiers of Tiamat would come and fight against the oppressors. That's primordial change. When a government is led by tyrants who are treating people like shit, people will rise up against that. That's primordial change. Earthquakes, floods, volcanoes, that's primordial change. Scientific experimentation, it doesn't make sense, and I'm very wary about this whole situation. Because look, I know there's a lot of questions here in relation to Geraldine and a lot of other shit, but right now, we're all we have. We can't trust fucking Uday. We've seen that from those fucking journals, that we can't fucking trust him. He was here. He was a fucking part of it, probably doing it under Avadar's nose. We are all we have, so we need to at least... And I appreciate the irony of it. That's me that's saying this. But we need to trust each other. I can see that now more than ever. And Geraldine, I'm not accusing you. I saw the look on that guy's face when Lilith mentioned your name. I can kind of gather you're probably not on best terms. I don't mean to assume, but all I'm saying is I don't believe you were involved in this. And I'm certainly not trying to attack you about this. But
What guy are you guys talking about?
If you really wanted to like hide it from us, wouldn't you have like changed your name or something?
yeah, exactly. And that guy was filled with nothing but contempt with Geraldine as he nearly fucking blighted me.
I'll tell you
Did
what.
that guy that walked away attack you guys? I thought he was just a nice guy you found. You guys really need to share these things with me. I was just in the other room.
We could have taken him. We could have been fine. Listen, if it bugs you, take a picture, and we'll just disperse the dust, and then you won't have to worry about it. I know I'd be upset if I saw a symbol of mine being mistreated. So get a picture for evidence, and then we'll get rid of it.
Kylo, can I ask your help to disperse this? I would appreciate someone who is a holy guy assisting me with this one. Would you mind?
Kyla's gonna look down at where the bullet went through his arm. There's still like a tiny hole, and go, yeah. And kind of motions everyone to like.
Oh, holy guy!
Yeah.
Get out!
Everyone to kind of like stand to the side, like of the thing, like move to the side of the symbol. Like,
Yeah, so it's just Kyler and Drazian. So Drazian's essentially asking you to basically kind of commune with him here.
Kyler was gonna like blow the dust with gust of wind was the plan. But if you want a hand, you
Yeah,
can let me know.
just to kind of sanctify it.
Let me see what spells I have prepared. Uh,
It's more for flavor than anything else. Like I don't expect you to use a spell slot for it.
okay. I have gust of wind like at will once per day, so I was
Oh.
gonna do that to kind of clear it.
Okay.
Would that be okay, Mux, or would that be unable
Yeah.
to? Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
So yeah, Kyler's gonna firstly take out his pixie phone, and kind of like,
Drazian snaps an image of it as well.
and then
Get a selfie,
Yeah, like
a panoramic.
of the room, and then after about a moment, kind of tucks the phone away and kind of goes tink tink and like puts hand on Dre's shoulder, and from in a straight line with Kyler, there's like a sort of like strong breeze that kind of blows the dust like clean into the air. The symbol kind of vanishes, and the dust spreads into the air and then kind of settles, spread around the room. Would be, and then brings the spell to an end.
Okay. As the dust settles, and this dust, it's literally as the dust settles, and this, like the marking in this fine green powder that is on the floor. If that is green, I am still colorblind.
It's like an olive green. Yeah, why not?
As it is blown away, and the form of the symbol of Tiamat is no longer visible on the floor. The room itself is cold. Not cold to the point of it begins to hurt, but cold in both temperature and atmosphere. Tensions, fear, betrayal by the person who gave you this. A number of these emotions linger in the air. The room itself, the floor, is this cold, dark grey marble. The large crystals, one of which Kronk is standing beside, and it towers over Kronk. It is maybe 10 and a half feet tall. It's kind of a singular, long, rocky outcropping of this purplish crystal that stands at about 10 and a half feet tall. The other two croppings on either side are maybe only about 3 feet tall, but they are these large clusters of black, jagged ore and crystals. On the table is a recently bloodied. You can feel and see that the blood on it is still wet. A recently bloodied ceremonial knife and a collection of animal parts. Nothing huge. It's smaller things like a rabbit's foot, a kind of exotic looking feather, a number of for somebody like Drazian, who would be kind of versed in these creatures. Also someone like Geraldine, they're like lizard eyes, very specifically like reptilian eyes, a collection of them. But sitting dead center in the middle of this table is this strange glowing orb that has now lost its glow and returned to this kind of translucent, misty orb that you can just about see through if you get up close. But Whether or not any of you touch it is entirely up to yourselves, considering the last time you saw somebody touch this, they got turned into the beast that you just killed.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if, like, actually just touching it will cause us to be fucked by it?
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
13, not great.
You know that touching it will, like, touching it while it is glowing will activate its properties of kind of, taking you in and using you for whatever sort of fusion this creates. You're not sure if it maintains those properties while it's dull.
Can I, like,
Unfortunately.
take my cloak and just, like, put it over it and use it to kind of, like, lift it and just put it in my bag?
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second.
And while I'm at it, can I also look at the ritual dagger to see if there's any, like, semblance of, like, that would make me think it's a Tiamat ritual dagger?
Are we not gonna check for like Indiana Jones traps before we pick up the big thing here? Because usually there's like a big rolling stone that'll fall on us if we pick up the thing without trying to replace it with a bag of sand.
Indiana who? What are you talking about?
Indiana Bones.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
The hit film
Bindi.
trilogy.
Iltenian Bones? Yeah, he's,
We named the dog Bindi.
Look, it stopped
Thank you.
glowing, so I'm inclined to presume that it's not going to blow up in our faces here, but I'm still lifting it with my cloak to make sure I don't turn into some kind of Frankenstein monster or something.
Frederick Frankenstein.
Kronk goes, that sounds like a real Kronk move to me. And he goes and he starts messing with the crystals to see if he can like break off a piece or anything. Like he takes out his quarterstaff and he's like trying to see if anything's...
Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Alright, sure.
Sorry, fixing that. As for yourself, Drazian, you put your cloak over and nothing happens to your cloak. And you just kind of, like, awkwardly... If any of you guys ever tried to, like, pick up, like, bacon from the pan whenever you're, like... you don't have, like, you know, a fork or tongs or anything, and you're kind of like... So you're, like, trying to twist it around and, you know, trying your best not to touch it, and you do eventually get it wrapped up. It's unfortunate, it's too big to go in a pouch. It's maybe about a foot.
Oh no, I was going to put it in, like, my satchel, like, not like a pouch or anything.
It's still, like, about a foot, just over a foot wide in diameter.
Okay.
So it'd be too big to, like, go into a satchel.
Would it go into, like, Geraldine's bag of holding?
It would fit into there.
Okay, I
Can
walk out.
This is a kind of a DM question. Can I cast Identify through the coat, even if I have to be touching the item while I cast it?
Eli, is your cloak magical?
Yeah, it's my Cloak of Displacement.
Then if you did cast it through it, unfortunately you would identify the cloak of displacement.
The cloak, yeah. Do we have a normal piece of fabric we could cover it with?
You've got Kyler's denim jacket.
You could use my sweatpants, but then I'd just be in my underwear. I'd just be boxed up.
Bricked up and boxed up, baby.
Well, I'm not
I'm
bricked up. There's a dead chimera in the room.
I'm gonna ask if it's possible to put something non-magical over it and see if we can identify it prior to putting it in the bag.
I'm actually Drazian's wearing like a normal shirt underneath his stuff, so like at this point Drazian just undoes his coat and like takes off. It's more like a t-shirt than anything else, and just like takes that off and like wraps the thing in it and quickly buttons up back his jacket. And wraps it in like, Geraldine, can I stick? You can identify it, and then can we just keep it in your bag of holding? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I would like to cast Identify on it, please.
Of course. As you focus on casting Identify, which, if I'm not mistaken, take 1 minute. Yep. Over the next minute, as you focus on casting it, during the next minute, Kronk, you do manage to break off. Maybe it's about like a 6-inch kind of like jagged piece of crystal.
Yay.
It doesn't seem to have any properties, but it's sharp and it would make a really good dagger if you just as you hear that kind of shattering of crystal in the background, you finish the casting of this spell. This is the Talari Unifiers. It is a ancient relic, older than you can identify. You kind of get this wave of feeling of years and years of use. You don't have any sort of inclination of anything else like it. It's an artifact of transmutation magic, so it will take one thing, turn it into something else. But it is unlike anything else you've encountered before, and you're definitely 100% certain that this is the object that Udice is looking for. It has the properties that you've seen it display, and you are aware that whenever the glow is dull, whenever there's no glow, it is inert, and to activate it, it has to be either a command word has to be spoken, if the command word is known, or blood has to be spelled on it, like fresh blood.
Is there a way to attune to it?
It is not an item that attunes. It is simply you
just use it.
You just use it. Yeah. You know the command word. You say the command word, or you spill blood on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the command word wise, like how does that set?
It must be in either one of the writings around here, or somebody else knows it. And if it was the elf dude, you've just killed him. So it's possible that Udice may know the command word.
Because it says, I learn its properties and how to use it. So do I learn the word?
You learn how to use it.
I don't know the word. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to use my phone, but you don't know its password, right? Like,
okay, fair.
6969.
So
are there
are
there spells affecting it right now?
There are no spells affecting it currently.
Okay.
What did you say, Lilith?
Oh, I was just saying if this is what we've been sent here to find, and this is what he wants, do we give it to him?
We go directly to Avadar.
I'm gonna communicate the identification information to the group in as quietly and awkwardly as I can.
Okay.
Let's
Thanks,
not.
Geraldine.
Maybe
Let's
not awkwardly, but uncomfortably.
Are you doing okay, Geraldine? Would you like to have a chat or a hug, maybe?
To be honest with you, there's a lot of reading to do. And I don't really know what to tell you yet.
That's okay. You're really good at reading books. That's the first thing I saw you do. You can do it, Geraldine.
These ones will be far less entertaining, I'm sure.
Look,
not enough porn. I'm sorry.
We need to pick up the rest of those diaries as well. that was in that bedroom.
Listen though.
I got them already.
Oh, you've got them. Okay. Fine.
If I could have those journals that you have as well, I think they might be in my father's handwriting.
These ones are specific. I'm gonna open the journals. Are they in for her to look at? But I'm keeping them in my possession because for to go to fucking Avatar with these.
Whenever you're talking about the journals, are you talking about the ones that have like the dialogues of the experiments?
The dialogues of the experiment and the mention of Udice's name and that he was fucking here, because those are the ones that I picked up.
Those ones are not in.
Because there were ones that were like on the table, right? There was like a green journal. There was one that was like scales, and there was one that was like flesh, right?
Yeah, those.
Who has those?
Oh, I have those. I have two of them, and Lilith has one of them. I've got the dragon one and the one that couldn't be opened, and Lilith has the flesh one.
I sure do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we should take it to Avadar. I don't think we should take it to Udice either, though, because like I mean, he's an important dude, and he's got a lot to do for one, but also, like he probably knows what Udice did here and what he had to do, but I mean, we could always ask someone who knows more. I mean, I know Theron mentioned a couple teachers he trusts, like whoops, Kyler, they trust implicitly. We could ask Professor Falkenhoof or Madame Mercury, the nurse.
Are you suggesting we keep information from Avatar True Arms?
I mean, no, we're not keeping it from him. Like, we're just kind of assuming he already knows, right? And I mean, like, if we say that we have, this, and he already trusts Udice enough to send us on the mission, then we're just going to get the same response. Do you know what I mean?
I think we need to ask Avadar for answers. I think we show him the journals first before we go anywhere near him with the artifact.
I agree.
So Kronk kind of walks over and he's now testing the black spikes, kind of seeing how sharp they are, kind of pulling a little bit because they're jagged. Well, if we're thinking about just talking to anybody, that cowboy sheriff guy seemed to know a lot. Maybe he's got some information. He might know more about the shady things that went on than anything, really. But we might want to consider taking a peek into the underworld. He kind of owes us for clearing out this whole quarry here.
I get the impression he didn't really know the ins and outs and the inner workings of this shit. I think he just knew that he was being paid for Elf Boy there to do whatever the fuck he was doing here. I get the impression the sheriff did not want to know exactly what he was doing because that makes him less complicit.
He was given money to look the other way, right?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. You guys know more about it than I do.
While they're chatting, can I go look at these, like, 5, like, the thing that has, like, the eyes and the rabbits with, like, these, like, animal components?
Yeah.
Is it possible to put them into vials of some sort that I have on me? Like, do I have, like, are they safe to put into
they're all safe.
Flasks or pouches or anything?
There's no magical aura present around them.
Okay.
Fitting them into like vials or pouches is like it's doable. As you pick up the lizard eyes, you realize they must have recently been taken because they're still kind of slimy.
I thought you were gonna say warm.
I mean, yeah, that too. Warm, slimy eyeballs.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to take was this 5 components and
yes,
maybe I guess this dagger as well. Just clear off the table.
Oh, I'd left the dagger at that point because I was examining it to see if it was like team
okay, so just the 5 components here.
Yeah.
Can I ask for the dagger, please?
Mux, did I recognize it as like? Is there any like recognizable symbols of Tiamat on it? Can I make a religion check on it?
There's no symbology on it. It's ceremonial in its shape, and it's ceremonial in the way that it's like very finely crafted. It's kind of this
Ornate kind of vibes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
What's
it
the word?
magical?
No, it's not magical.
Has it got any gems in it, Dre?
There are no gems in it. It's like a Damascus steel. That's the word. So it kind of has that like it's like a dark with like a white wavy line running through it. It is ceremonial in that it's like or like ritualistic in its design only. There's no
Associations with
symbology.
gods or anything then.
No,
Okay,
it's you would walk into like a goth shop and it's like, yeah, we've got this really cool knife.
It's fucking fresh garbage, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Damascus, they don't even have Syria.
Damascus-y.
At that point,
Take a loud
if Kyler wants it, I give it to Kyler.
Kyle's going to take it, kind of flip it into like a pocket, and then kind of look at the group and say, I will go and shoot Abadar an email, and I'm going to go and set up a funeral pyre outside. And I know, like, you're going to be like, oh, it's sentimental, blah, blah, blah. Like, these people are experimenting with the changing shapes of bodies and stuff, so I'm kind of, like, also remiss to give them fresh material. If you guys would like to join me for a little impromptu funeral service, I'll probably need like 20 minutes or something to lift all the bodies out, and I will see you there.
Mux, question: do we have Avatar's number, like direct number at all?
Got a school email.
Abadar.truearms at
agid.com.
.edu. Oh my god.
You don't have his number. No, you have the school's like switchboard.
How did
number.
we go on an adventure and we don't have his direct contact line?
Okay.
You don't have Avadars. You have Udai. But you do not have
Well,
Avadar.
I don't want his.
He's the principal of the school. It'd be a bit.
Well, he's
just in the first.
Okay. I'm going to. I think between me and Kyler, we will like email Avatar together with the pictures that detail that Udais was here, and like Kyler and Drazian will kind of figure out like how to word this together in relation to what the fuck is going on. Udais knew about this shit.
All right, lift bodies as you walk. Then come on.
Yeah.
I would like to. I found a piece that was sticking out that I like of the crystal. I'm now kind of like I'm standing on it and I'm kind of like jumping on it in an effort to try to break it off. I'm like, oh Lilith, don't forget the poison dagger out of the chimera. I believe you threw it at that guy. I wouldn't want you to lose it, love. I'll help with the bodies in a second. I swear I've almost got this.
I guess I should take that.
Did you make a strength check to carry the chimera, like the body?
No, if both of you are like working together, you can like drag it out together.
Okay.
Lift with their legs.
Make a strength check for me.
I've been working on it a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've had some. The identify spell that I have right now is ritually cast. Does that mean I can apply it to more than one thing?
No, it just means it doesn't cost a spell slot whenever you cast it.
Okay.
It takes longer.
And it takes longer, right? Yeah. I didn't realize that was as much of a difference until I realized I had a ritual section of my spellbook.
It's okay. We'll let it pass.
I took it so I could keep some of my bard spells.
Yeah. So, other than that, Geraldine, you now have in your possession 1 rabbit's foot. You can just add this into like the other notes.
I'm putting it into notes, yeah.
You have 1 rabbit's foot. You have a small bird skull. 3 reptile eyes. 2 exotic feathers. And some mammal flesh
Delicious.
Tyler-
What was the name
Tyler-
of the orb thing?
Talari Unifiers. I will type it to you. Tyler, you can add, if you just want to add a dagger to your inventory, and if you want to like custom name it Ceremonial Knife.
Okay, I was going to use it in the funeral ceremony as well. So
Ceremonial knifey.
Knifeu? Dagger.
I hardly know her. Any Zalatoth lovers in the chat?
It was better than Damascus, babe. Like,
No, was it?
I wear Damask for hours at a time.
And Damascus.
That's what the point of Damascus.
Ceremonial dagger has been added.
Okay, with an 11 strength check.
Damascus.
I mean, I could roll with advantage. I've been working on it a while, you know.
Well, yeah, if you want to. So this hasn't come up before, so I'm going to say it now. There are 3 ways to do rolls like this.
Uh-huh.
There is the normal roll. There's take 10 and there's take 20. Now, a take 10 is that you're not in a rush, you've got some time, you're going to work at it until like it works. So if you say, oh, I'm just going to take 10 on this, I'm going to take like 20 minutes just to get it right, then you can take 10. If you have like a couple of hours to try something, and like, you know, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to just keep trying to jump over this gorge. If it's like, you know,
But it take 20 on opening this. Oh no, jumping over this gorge, yeah.
yeah, you know,
This
it's
stunt
this
bike
gorge,
trick
Jesse.
over a gorge.
like I
Oh,
have
Jesus
a
Christ.
lot of lockpicks, and I'm going to open this door. Nobody's going to be here for hours. I'm just going to work at it until it works. Can you
Okay.
take a 20. So in this situation, if you're not going to stay here for ages to get a piece you like, if you're going to stay here for like 10-15 minutes, you can take 10, which would bring it up to a 15. Up to you.
How does it bring it up to 15? Is it the roll that I rolled up to the nearest interval 5, or?
No, so it would be instead of like rolling a dice, you would just say, okay, I rolled a 10 plus my bonus.
Oh,
So-
gotcha. Okay.
So like for example, for you, if you don't mind me giving out your performance stat, I think it's performance.
Yeah, it's performance. It's strength based because I'm a wrestler.
So if you go, yeah, I'm going to, you know, take 10 in performance, that's a 21.
Hell yeah.
So it's that kind of thing.
So if Lilith spent a couple of hours seducing someone, 21 in persuasion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dale, son of Dale.
Nice, babe.
Mm.
Leaving me hanging is pretty good there.
We discussed Dale, son of Dale, and that whole situation.
We'll come to that later. We'll come to that.
Kronk was not super happy with like the 6-inch piece that like popped off, so I could see
6 inches? You didn't like 6 inches, Kronk?
you know, Kronk's 7'11", you know.
Kronk needs it deeper.
2 different measurements.
2 different measurements. So Kronk can take 10 on this because he's already been talking kind of while the group's been talking. He's already been working at it, and the funeral's about in 20 minutes, so he can help the last 5 or 10 to take the bodies out after he's taken 10 on the roll.
Not a bother.
I'm gonna BRB like 1 second, but I'll leave the camera on.
Not a problem. My other question to you then, Kronk, is: would you like blunt or sharp?
I feel like blunt would be easy to round into some kind of tool.
Okay. Then you now have a black crystal club as you kind of work at this, and a piece that's maybe about 2.5 feet long falls to the floor. The edge closer to you is kind of rounded and just the right size for you to like grip with 2 hands, but then as it widens out and goes towards the end, it turns into this like kind of jagged mace-like crystal, which you can now use as a two-handed. What is the word?
Like mace?
A two-handed mace, but there's a specific
A maul?
maul. That's it.
I know what my ancient weapons.
Apologies.
You're not forgiven.
My stomach was thinking my throat was cut. Right. There we go.
Oh, okay. Oh, what?
What does that even mean?
What?
You've never heard that phrase?
I'm too American to know
No.
what that means, I think.
I've
Same.
not heard that phrase.
You've never heard that phrase? My stomach's thinking my throat is cut. Like, it's like, where is the stuff I consume? Like, what's going on up there?
What?
What?
Not a single clue.
I don't
what you're on
know.
about.
It's Scottish for thirsty.
Yeah, or hungry.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, but okay.
Thought it was just
A lot of word. Why use many word when few words do trick?
Yeah,
I don't know.
thought
Why
it
is
was
there
just-
why is there a
I'm
U in color?
hungry.
I mean, like,
Well,
There
not.
isn't.
Well, it's not.
There is, as there is in Harbour.
an armor. Yeah.
Armor Lord.
Is there trees about much to like get
It's not a
retrieved wood
U in
and stuff?
trees.
It's
Hello.
trees then.
It's trees then.
Is it trees that we're keeping this from
It's
Avatar
trees, then.
True Arms?
It's not keeping it. It's more like don't bother him about it because he'll just give
What
you
kind
the
of
same
snacks
answer.
is that?
Well, no, like
that-
I'm sending him an email, like with
Yeah,
the
Is
pictures.
that Cobbler?
We've sent him an email.
I
if you
hardly
like.
know
Yeah.
her.
You can change any specifics. I was like, we'll just put it in that we've sent it to Avadar. And
Yeah.
then,
Oh, what was the memo on the email?
To right, that's what I wrote. To a.truearm@truearm.edu.ilt. CC L Falconhoof@truearm.edu.ilt, comma M Mercredi @truearm.edu.ilt. The Mandem signed to Hell's Prairie mission have found some evidence we'd like advice on. What do you make of this? And then the photos of the sigil and the selfie and the books
Nice.
are all
Okay,
attached.
good.
One more.
Andreas
Color
has put a line in. We need to meet alone.
And the associated Mandem.
Good email. Good email.
Yeah. There's no formal emails under the sea. What can I say? Life's good.
And you can see the section that like Kyler's written, and then the line that Drazian is like, "We need to meet alone."
It's in different fonts.
I was gonna say, I feel like Kyler's is in like different neon fonts. Like every paragraph is a different color font and like a different typeface.
There's
and then
emojis.
Drazian's is like, yes,
Drazian is just like a black cursive.
yeah. Kyler has emojis. Dear Avatar True Arms, like.
Yeah.
Avatar True Arm.
We've had some interesting evidence.
We found some evidence. It's got like the
And it's the magnifying glass.
We've
evidence.
had some evidence. There's gifts at the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't do the emoji like generator again, but there we go.
Avatar might be a bad, or Udice might be a bad guy. He's got the Home Alone.
And I've
Check the
attached the
difference.
two pictures of one the thing about the mimics and the part that mentions Udice.
And then
To the
there's the
email.
photo, the sigil with and without Kyler in it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one. There's a picture of it, and Kyler's just next to it, like
Kyler's head's kind of blocking the sigil.
it's actually just like it's a selfie. You can't see the sigil at all. It's just Kyler's face.
It's like it's like a verification thing. Like I'm here with it, right? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like I could have just googled Tiamat symbol on floor.
The capture. Fuck's sake.
Identify all pictures with the Triton in it.
Okay, yes, so that all happens. Fucking hell. After a couple of moments, whose whose email did you guys send it from?
Kyler's.
We sent it from Kyler's.
Kyler, what? If you don't have an answer to this right now, if you want to come up with it, but Kyler, what is your email?
Oh, well, Kyler's using his school email, which is ccrestwave like III at truearm.edu.ilt.
Okay.
Or would it be .wwf .whitefarm?
WWF! Get the F out.
WFK, White Fawn Kingdom.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Right. Ignore the ILTs then. That's all the right one.
It's my other one.
Yeah.
Okay. After like a minute, while you're kind of like dragging bodies out, you hear this bring as you get an email back, and it's an automated. Avdar Truom is not currently in the office. He's outside dealing with a catastrophic threat to humanity. And you know it's just saying, oh, he's not going to be back in until the weekend is over. So
Would any of the CC people respond, or have they like?
who did you CC in? Falconhoof and
Lemon Falconhoof and Madame Melanie Mercredi.
because they're CC'd, you don't get like an automatic response back.
Gotcha.
And they haven't responded yet.
Cool. Is there like trees and stuff for like wood, or is there like planks to build like a pyre with?
Yeah, there's like you can take, the chairs and stuff from inside. You can kind of build. There's like if you want to get to the trees, you're gonna have to like climb up out of the quarry and go maybe like 100 feet away from the edge of the quarry, cut down a tree and bring it back. But if you just kind of like drag chairs out of the doorway, break the tables, and kind of throw them on.
Most of the bodies are up on the like ridge anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. So
might as well build it up there and like use a combination of a tree and a chair.
Okay. Well, as you kind of bring everything together, this is the start of the school season. So night comes relatively quickly compared to, when it would be late, like earlier into the summer. This is getting into what would be the equivalent of fall/autumn, which within the world of Iltanian, that time is known as Heartwild. Heartwild is when there are many celebrations of graciousness and harvest and taking kind of the beginning of a new year of like agricultural significance, and it's when that whole kind of thing happens. 1 second. Oh, queen, thank you very much.
Decent.
I don't know if it's
Cute.
Nice.
That's so cute.
unicorns, and then like chocolate wafers.
Spoiled.
That's frosting around the rim, is it? Oh wow, you've frosted my rim. Thanks.
Ooh, woo.
Fuck.
I love you, Pablo. All this effort for a fucking anal joke.
If you guys are doing the funeral things, I think Geraldine's gonna sort of make her way out of the dungeon area. And like, was there any books left around that I didn't pick up after the party?
There were books that there were books that were still there, but nothing that pertained or caught your eye. In terms of like anything to do with your family, there were other things were like fiction books, like factual books, things that are used for reading if somebody's like on a break, rather than things to do with your family.
Okay.
But as you walk outside, just as Kyler is finishing creating this pyre, night is creeping in. Dusk has just passed, and the gentle orange and blue glows at the edge of the sunset and the horizon are creeping into the sky above. Kyler, You've been out of the city for a day or so now. You've been out of the water, out of the ocean, for a week and a half at best. You've been out of the ocean before, but you were too young to remember most of them. As the night creeps in, and you're not in a city like Agolian, nor are you in New Lynette, where you'd also visited with your family before, the capital of Whitefawn. You look to the sky and you see a number of small glowing dots. And for the first time in your life, you're seeing what the landwalkers know as stars.
Kyla's
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Kyla's gonna like sort of throw a sort of like table leg onto the fire and just kind of like look up, and like in the way that like you look up so far, it kind of loses his balance and just kind of tumbles on like the dirt like that and just like falls. He just kind of starts looking at them like, dude.
Drazen at this point lays down with Kyler.
That's so wicked. Like I know what they are. Like I mean like I don't know what they are. Like I know they exist. But like it's too bright in like the city and stuff. And
Beautiful,
under the water,
aren't they?
I mean, yeah, they're pretty cool. What are they like? Actually, I know they're stars. But, like, what are stars?
Stars do stars follow the same concept as NL Tenyon as our world?
Did you go to do a history check?
Roughly. Stars in Eltanian are still known as celestial bodies, but what that means exactly is uncertain.
So we don't like know that they're like dying suns or anything like that.
No. Some would call them watchful angels that are focusing particularly hard at that moment, making sure nothing happens in the darkness of night. Some would say that they are magic spells that never found their target and continued to soar endlessly into the dark sky. No matter what they are called, they are never called anything other than beautiful.
No one.
I'm gonna sit down next to Kyler as like, you know, he's just like staring at the sky and be like, well, that's where all my power comes from. And I'm gonna pull out my star map and kind of show him like some of like the constellations and like the celestial bodies and how the druids look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead if you want.
That's the whole tweet.
Okay, fair enough. Kyler's eyes.
I'm not gonna repeat that.
Are like they have this sort of faint like bioluminescence to them, but then they sort of catch the light of like there's no light pollution, and so like they can catch the light, and it's sort of like it would look like stars in a daytime sky almost, and just kind of is kind of like I didn't know there were so many, like. I mean, where do they go? Like, I know, like, are they just like hidden by the big light? Is that how it works? Like, this is so fucking cool.
Geraldine will giggle and say something like that, and I'm gonna wild shape into a starry form, and I'm gonna take Chalice. Kyler, you're still hurt, right?
Yeah, Kyler's taken 10 points of damage that combat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'm gonna shift into Chalice, and I'm gonna roll to heal him as I'm explaining this.
Okay, no problem. As
you regain 12 hit points
That's
as I explain this.
as Geraldine is explaining this,
Wow, that's a full fucking hit point too.
Redemption arc for GB.
you watch,
Hello?
you watch as she kind of opens her hands, almost like she's cupping water. And from this now swirling blue mist in her hands rises a collection of the lights that you see in the sky. Still the same size, even though they are much closer. And it kind of, you watch as the shape, as these little dots of light begin to take form into the shape of a goblet, a chalice. And it tips over, and the mist that once was beneath the goblet fills up and pours out over your body, healing your wounds. And as the last drop of this celestial mist dissipates, your wounds are feeling better, and those little dots of light go out one by one until the last one sits, creating a gentle everglow in Geraldine's hand, and as she closes her hand, the light goes out.
Kylo's gonna like first kind of look at Geraldine, like kind of like roll the head over and be like you know, sort of blue hair is like kind of covered in dust at this point from like the prairie dust, and kind of goes like, "Thanks. I could have taken care of it, but I appreciate it. You must be really smart to be able to make sense of it. I mean, all I can tell is two things. I can tell there's a lot of them, and however many souls are in the sky is how many people I'm gonna save before I die." And then after a minute of like, oh, that was kind of profound, Kylo's gonna do like a kung fu kip up, like lean back and kind of go to squat and go, right, this isn't gonna finish itself, and kind of dust off like, oh, I've been vulnerable for a minute, let's get back to it, and kind of set his bodies on the fire. And then once the pyre is complete and all of the bodies are kind of laid across it, like the chimera kind of in the middle, Kylo's going to take the knife that he'd taken from the body in the olive garden. What's it? The raisin pit. And the ceremonial dagger, and kind of stick them into the ground, like in a sort of crossing shape, and then a loose, sort of jagged piece of wood, like between the two, so that it forms like an X with a line through it, and it's like a kind of makeshift, like how sometimes they kind of makeshift crucifixes with like two boards together, makeshifting like a sort of three-pronged symbol, and kind of turns to the other two, Drazian and Geraldine, and goes, "Would you two ask if Kronk and Lilith would like to come here for this? They don't have to, but I find the more people, the better with these kind of things."
Drazian nods and quickly goes in to see if where Kronk and Lilith are and see if they want to come join.
Kronk was looking around for extra bodies and stuff after stomping off that club. So Kronk's around, kind of the entrance.
Okay, I go to Kronk. Kylo's doing this funeral thing. Says if you want to come join, the more people the better.
Yeah, I got everything I need out of this place, so I'll go join.
All right, I like clap him on the shoulder. I was like, that thing with the ballista, that was quite cool.
Thanks, Dre.
And I go in and see if I can find Lilith.
I was just looking to see if there was anything else that anybody missed. Can I do like a roll to see if I find like any kind of like leftover like magic or leftover anything that anyone missed?
You want to do a investigation check if you're kind of like looking for stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I don't really know what room I'm in. But...
I'll
Do I
say
need
that
to be in a...
while everybody else is doing this, you take like a look around the whole place.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what I was thinking. So, investigation?
Yep.
Got it right there.
The 21.
Okay. As you look around, you don't find anything else magic or anything per se that anybody else missed. I don't think Kronk. I don't think you got looking like looting the bedroom, did you?
No, I rolled when I was in there. I was looking around for stuff, and I had a terrible roll. I don't remember what I found. I think I found something enough to make me sad. I dropped like the helmet and just kind of like
Oh no, you
walked
just saw
out.
the bedrolls. You just
Yeah.
saw the
Yeah,
bedrolls.
you were looking for like anything of like humanity of the people who were in these beds, and then got sad and then left.
Yeah, I didn't find anything. I just
Yeah.
got sad and walked away. So my
Relatable.
helmet's on the helmet that I took off of the knight is on the ground in there if you want it.
Yeah, you do, Lilith, as you kind of enter this like room.
Mhm.
It's more apparent to you that people were living here. And there was a bit of a sense of camaraderie. Like you can see, some playing cards that are kind of lying on the bed where maybe people would have been unable to sleep and played cards. There are like there's a couple of beds without pillows and a couple of beds that have like double stacked pillows where maybe somebody said, "Oh, I can't sleep without these," and they've said, "Okay, go ahead." There are, to someone such as yourself who is kind of trained in the social aspect of mortal kind, there's evidence of a rough brotherhood here. Friends, people that you get to know over time working with them. As you look through their stuff, you do find some have kind of letters that are half written, some that look like they've started to write and then they've stopped, maybe thinking that it wasn't worth finishing the letter. One particular one catches your eye, and it seems like a confession of sins. Not to a god or a deity of any kind, more writing them down and going to like a possible way of fixing them in the future. Amongst these things, while you continue to look, you do manage to find about 240 gold coins. You find a number of just normal
Pocket those.
Yeah, you find a normal like a number of just like normal changes of clothes. You find one of the bags has a set of thieves' tools. If you would like to add those, so you can
Yep.
actually pickpocket now.
Yep, I sure do.
Or actually lockpick, sorry. And as you continue to search, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of valuable items here. Any weapons and stuff were all on the bodies. This seems to just be changes of clothes, small personal effects. But as you search in the final bag, the thing that does catch your eye is a small red box at the bottom of the bag, and you pull it out, and there is a rusted golden ring inside the box. The hinge on the box is worn and broken from being opened and closed. The ring is rusted and dull, but the cushion that the ring sits in is immaculate, pristine, untouched. Which means that this box has been opened many a time. The ring has been subject to sunlight, mist, moisture, everything. But it was never taken out of the box. And as you close the box again, whether or not you would like to take this ring is up to you, but it is there.
No. I don't want it. I
Okay.
think this is a moment where Lilith feels really emotional.
Okay. There is, as you close the box and turn it around, a very small inscription on the box. It simply says, "For the one I never got to ask the question to."
Can I
Yeah.
like walk into the room at this point? After looking for Lilith.
Yeah, I'll say that this is roughly as Lilith is kind of sitting on the bed, this box like closed in her hands. This is where you hear the footsteps on the wooden floor behind you, Lilith, as Drazian comes in.
There you are. Find anything good?
Gold, which is nice.
That's good. Always can use more of that. I sit down on the bed beside her. You doing all right?
I'm just gonna like hand Drazian this box and say that it sucks that life goes this way, whether they live or die by my hand or someone else's.
It
That
does.
this is the way it always goes.
It does, and unfortunately, that is the way it always goes because people like this make a choice. And had we not stopped them and killed them, they could have gone to hurt other people, innocent people with families. I don't know what led any of these people to this, but they made a choice. And while I'm here, I'm not going to feel guilty about taking people like this who make evil choices out of the equation. Because what the people that need protecting, they need people like us to step up. And I will always step up. Because the one time I didn't cost me everything.
I think Lilith understands that in a way that most people probably don't. And this is a moment where she's very, very vulnerable. And she just looks at Drazian and says, I want to make it so no one has to make this choice. So no one has to make the choice that they feel like they have to work for someone that betrays their own boundaries. I don't want people to have to be in this situation.
Then let's do that.
As you guys finish this talk, you can hear from outside Tyler let out a single, "You guys coming?" or something along those lines.
Look, they want us to come and join them, but look, you saved my life twice today. First with the dagger, and then with stopping that guy with the blight. And the whole car thing was really, really cool. So, Drazian almost like stumbles over his words, but not quite, and then just like leans in and kisses Lilith. And then it's like, oh, shall we? Should we get going?
Yeah, Lilith is a little taken aback, but goes with Drazian for sure.
Chris right now is me whenever like Darcy plays a romance thing and gets into it. I'm like, yeah.
I like help Lilith up off the bed and we walk out, join the rest of them.
Okay. As the group now stands beside this funeral pyre, unlit, and the darkness is now nearly fully taken over the night, or this later part of the evening. Who sets the pyre alight?
I'm gonna walk up to Kyler and be like, "Here, do you need a light?"
I have a funeral service, if I may, if it's not going to bug people.
No.
I do have a funeral service. What Kyler actually has done during the aftermath, provided it's cool with you, is got like a rag and covered it in gasoline and put it on the trident. So it kind of looks at Dre and goes like, "I'll let you know, like, and we're gonna do that, and you can spark it, save me using it later." So here we go. Kyler kind of stands and kind of looks at the four of them and kind of looks them up and down for a minute, and then kind of turns to the pyre and begins to speak and says, "Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to commemorate not the life of a loved one or even a liked one, but those who had sinned against us and against the world. Deep one, tremor beneath the waves. I, Kyler Crestwave, third of my name and of a house most beloved in your sight, am here with these gallant landwalkers who fought with frightening violence to aid your will. Assembling in your sight, please sanction these souls to their proper afterlives, knowing both mercy, pity, and fairness for both sins and saintly acts combined. Sanctify our prayers as we strive to reach heaven through violence." And then Kyler kind of brings a hand to his chest and says, "Be free. Be strong. Be proud of who you have been and ashamed. Know you will be mourned and missed, and that no one can replace you. That you have loved and hated and have been beloved and hated. Move beyond form. Flow like water feeding on sunlight and moonlight, radiant as these stars in the night sky. Pass through the gate, enter the dark without fear, and return to the primordial sea of life to steep in the cauldron of rebirth. Rest, heal, grow young again. Be blessed." And now, before we light the pyre, a traditional musical interlude.
And I, real quick,
Yeah,
can
go.
I ask Lilith to, because they came out, right? They're not still smooching in the bedroom.
No. But we like came out trying to act like nothing's happened.
So
Lilith taking back shots while Kyler.
And that's the campaign. That's the party.
That's it. Kyle's out here giving a
That's
eulogy.
the personality trait.
a musical number.
Lilith is using God's name in a very different way.
It sounds like there's more than one deep one. Ayo.
Hey.
Now Cthulhu knows why
And it's
they
Lilith.
call me the deep one. I fucked Cthulhu good.
What I wanted to ask.
You're like, oh yeah, the rhythm section.
In kind of accordance with Goliath funeral rites, I wanted to ask Lilith if she could turn Malort into some kind of vulture or something like that, as that's typically what Goliath funeral rites are like, because we can't bury these dudes on top of a mountain, obviously. But typically what happens is they're buried like atop a mountain, and then vultures come and take the body and kind of return it to nature, right? But that's not really something that's happening here. So as a sign of like respect, I was like, I just want to see if she can, over the course of the funeral, turn Malort into like a flying creature of some kind.
You want me to fly these bodies out?
No, I just want you to turn the No, I don't need you to fly. I don't think Malort could do that. I don't need Malort to eat them either. They're on fire. I just want it here as kind of a sign that I'm respecting it, you know? That I'm respecting the funeral. What's on your face? You got dragon on your face there? What's going on?
What? What are you talking about?
Dragging these nuts.
Yeah. Not.
Wait, was Lilith wearing lipstick?
I think she always wears it.
Oh shit!
I mean, Lilith was canonically getting ready that morning, and
Yeah.
that's why
Oh,
she wasn't
shit.
in that fight, right?
So there's
Yeah.
literally going to be like
There's literally lipstick on mine, smudgy, and Dre's has lipstick on. Yeah, Kyle. Or
But
yeah,
what are you wearing
Croc.
that transfers but lasts all day?
Yo, some of us can throw fireballs. Like, I wouldn't worry about it.
Fucking fair enough. Fair fucking enough.
That's lightning bolts to you.
Yeah.
I can throw fireballs. Well, flaming spears, same thing.
Yeah, Crunk. Whatever you want.
What you could do is you could be trying to turn into a raven and instead accidentally turn Malort into that because you're thinking about Dre.
I'd be like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, yeah, Crunk, whatever you want. I'll turn him into a vulture for you. But then Malort just turns into this pseudo dragon because Lilith's mind is just like, she's like, yeah, Malort will turn into this, and then it's just a pseudo dragon, and it's like, that's exactly what I meant to turn it into.
That's actually pretty sick. Thank you, Lilith.
As this,
You bet.
I'm assuming, Kyler, you have by this point.
Oh well, I was kind of planning on singing Mux if you were going to let me,
Yeah, go right ahead.
because we have a hymn by. It's not so much a hymn; it's more of a Triton secular music, but it does
A he
pertain
hymn.
to the deep one. A he hymn, you might say. A he hymn Dahlia.
Oh.
Kyler, and sort of a bit of a lyric tenor begins. You sense the song is actually much deeper underwater because of how sound travels. But you hear, and now the end is near, and then just kind of fucking flames up the trident and goes, and so I face the final curtain, and then the whole thing is covered in gasoline. My friends, I'll make it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every seaway, and more, much more than this. I did it my way. And then again, just throws more gasoline on with like a jar. For what is a fish? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of someone who kneels. Let the record shows I took my blows and did it thy way. And then throws on another just throws the whole canister of gasoline on and goes, right, that's that.
As this fire burns and rages, the gasoline adding to this what can be described as nothing less than a furnace of appreciation of life. The fire crackles and sparks. The walls of the quarries are lit with this bright orange glow. The shadows elongating as they stretch from the flame, each of you bathed in it. Lilith, without your command, you feel Malort lift off of your shoulder in this pseudo-dragon form, fly through the air into the fire, and rise from the top of the pyre, his wings spreading out wide, casting this cascade of sparks. And to those who saw this from a distance, would say that a phoenix had risen from the quarry. But this was no creature of rebirth. This was an angel of things to come. As the fire dies over the next 1 to 2 hours, does the party stay there until the fire's dead, or do you head back to Hell's Prairie proper?
I think Kyler would be happy to leave when other people are happy to leave.
Drazian's made way for the car at this point.
Kronk sees that most of the stuff around here is rock. There's not really any fire hazards going on around here. You know, he's got kind of a nature.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, it's very Smokey the Bear-esque. There's no fire risk here. He maybe makes sure some of the mine carts are in places, maybe a little bit of a barrier, but there's no grass that's going to spread across. It's in a quarry. It's pretty contained. So Kronk checks it off. He gives it the Smokey Bear A-okay.
The Smoky Barrier.
Yeah, Kyler's concept of fire safety, as evidenced by the fact he was singing Thy Way while throwing gasoline on a lit fire, does evidence it's still somewhat of an alien concept. So yeah. I think that is a very sensible idea.
Geraldine, as everyone else is...
Go.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
As everyone else is beginning the walk around the outside of the quarry up to the top where the car is parked, the fire holds its sight in your eyes for a moment longer and lingers more than it does perhaps for the others. This fire, the bodies in it, the wood from which it is built. As much as you can look at this and say that this is part of the job of being an adventurer, there is a part of you that looks at this and recognizes that this is a flame that has just started burning. It is a flame fueled and funded by your family's wallet. And whether or not this flame shall stop burning anytime soon is possibly up to you. If there's anything else you would like to do, you can say it now.
Has everyone started to walk away? Is anyone still nearby?
Harpoon gun.
Everyone else has started to walk away.
I'd say it is noticeable that Geraldine is completely emotionally compromised and is definitely behind the group, probably audibly sobbing. But
definitely, like, kind of goes behind and just, like, puts an arm, well, I guess not around Geraldine's waist, given the height difference, but, like, maybe just, like,
at
places,
shoulder.
Maybe just, like, on top of her head, very comfortingly, like...
Is this a Kronk head pat?
You know how sometimes, if you feel like, you know, somebody, like, puts pressure on the top of your head, it just, like, feels good and comforting? You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Kronk's just like, I'm here for you. But he's just too tall to, like, give you, you know?
I can imagine Kronk going back, going, I'm going to go talk to her. And Lilith just grabs him by the scruff and goes, we let her cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
so.
As Kronk kind of comes back and does what Kronk would maybe consider a head pat, to you it kind of feels like somebody's bonk, bonk.
Yeah. Nice head.
The weight of like 100-pound hand hitting the back of your head.
Kronk, I feel like, is very gentle. You know, he knows when to be, like, gentle. Like, he's like, and he also knows in this situation to shut up, even though he's kind of dumb. He knows not to say anything. He just...
As we keep walking, Geraldine's gonna kind of look up at Kronk. Visibly, like, fucked up and say, it's gonna get worse.
That's all right. You can ride on my shoulders if it would make you feel better. It always makes Kyla smile.
That's true.
I'm gonna giggle through tears and say, sure. Yeah, I'd like that.
Yay! I feel like Geraldine thinks I'm gonna kneel down, but I just like fully pick her like 4'8" frame up or however like short you are.
Yeah,
and
it's like 4'10".
2 separate measurements.
And just like you'd think it would be unsteady, but Kronk is like really balanced. Like she's in there. It's as if there are seat belts, but there's not, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sort of curl up my arms up and like lay my head down on top of Kronk's head as we're
Cry onto his
walking,
bald
sobbing.
head and, like,
I hand up the hat kerchief. I say, you can use it to cry into.
Is it still Kronk sized?
To, like blow her nose in.
yeah, as a kerchief. And then it's suddenly a hat.
How
Just, like,
terrifying.
Going to blow your nose and just getting hit with a fucking like 10-gallon Peter Pan hat.
Right.
This is some Power Word Celt shenanigans here.
Yeah.
Power Word Kill is great. This is my favorite spell.
I'm so glad that Nordle had that prepared.
So good.
As
yeah.
as you're pulled up onto the shoulders, kind of curl your head up and cry gently onto Kronk's head. Everybody gets back into the car. I'm going to assume Drazian is driving.
Yeah, I'm driving.
You start
Lilith lost driving privileges, apparently.
You start the engine. It is much louder at night because of the dead silence all around you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear what was once this kind of gentle thrum of the engine is much more noticeable and a kind of all-consuming as you begin your drive through the darkness, through the woods. The light's on, and we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute break, and when we come back, the party will be back in Hell's Prairie.
Can I have Kelly do something in the car? Like when we come back, but like in the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Then yeah, stick 5.
Cool.
Okay.
We will be right back, guys.
Good morning, how are you feeling? Not good, try breaking something. Did that work? Okay, no, leave. This isn't your house. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope everybody had a good break. I hope your piss stream was as strong as the River Nile. And I hope that whatever food and snacks you have got will... Piss stream, piss stream.
Piss stream, piss stream, piss stream.
Wow, you were ready.
I was. I'm always ready.
Oh,
If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
I came here to do two things. Chew bubblegum and drink piss. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
What's that, Alaska? You stepped on a sea urchin again? How? We live in a landlocked state. Oh, fine.
Fine.
Alaska, why did you put...
sting your tongue again?
Why do you keep putting the sea urchins in your mouth? I don't know.
Guys, we gotta take care of this. I'm so sorry. We'll be right back.
And we'll be right back. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ba-da-da-da.
I just pissed in her mouth.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We are so getting fucking, like, TOS.
We were flirting with it, Chris, and then you just went, no.
Until you do it, you'll be fine.
Until we do it. Well, okay.
No balls.
Anyway!
I urinated in her mouth.
Eli, you wanted this on your channel. I don't know what you
What kind
wanted
of
from
role was
us.
this? Was that animal handling or?
Yeah.
Sleight of hand?
Mux,
Yeah,
can
'cause
you
she's
please
holding that
restart the
python.
fucking session?
So, well, session's already started. So,
High fives to me.
damn right it is Master Wolf.
Holy shit.
So, as the night is still going on and rolling in, sky's getting darker, you see not too far from where you are the small village of Hell's Prairie. The lights in some of the buildings in the village are on. You manage to travel from the quarry to Hell's Prairie after about 20 minutes of driving. You pull up into the town onto
I pull up.
onto kind of the main road where that goes right through the center of Hell's Prairie. Where are you all going first? Are you returning back to the Mermaid's Tail? Oh, sorry, that's right. Kyler is going to do something.
So yeah, I was just Kyler about 6 or 7 minutes into the drive is going to kind of turn around in his seat and look at the still, evidently fucked up GB, and then going to look at Lilith.
Yeah, wait, what's the seating arrangement in the car right now?
Kind
We
of
have
Gronk
Trey
is in the
driving,
middle.
Kyler's shotgun.
Yeah.
So I imagine GB probably
With
isn't.
shotgun.
It's a harpoon gun, but
GB probably still isn't on Kronk's shoulders. I thought I had kind of probably taken her off and just kind of held her like a teddy bear, because I feel like that's safer than any seatbelt, and also more comforting, I would imagine.
So I'm currently just in the back seat, halfway curled up, sobbing on Kronk.
Yeah, that seems like a
Alright.
safe place for you.
Yeah, that checks out. And then Kyler's in the middle, I guess, if Lilith has shotgun.
oh no, Kyler called shotgun. Kyler called.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. None of you getting that. That's a race to the shotgun. You have to beat me in a fucking athletic
Kyler
sprint to get
did
shotgun.
call harpoon gun.
Fine.
Lilith he has the front seat, but he didn't kiss Tracy.
Yeah, I know. I won on both counts, I suppose.
Let's fucking go!
Hey.
Wow!
I'm here for the Dracelander. I'm in it. I'm about it.
Kyler taps GB on the knee or something. Is watch this, and
I'm gonna look up.
and looks at Lilith and goes, Lilith, you're pretty proud of your Well, so I've heard it referred to. Your bitchy stare, right? You know you know that thing you do where you're like,
I'm gonna go like this onto Kronk and be like, what's happening?
I kind of like turn Geraldine a little bit and say, hey, she is a scary knife lady and she is right next to me, so please be careful.
no, I
we're
wanna
all in the same vehicle together.
I wanna have a staring contest.
While we're in the car?
Yeah, I'll turn around, I don't mind, and just like takes the off, just turns around to
I would like to point out it is dark right now. Like
lights on.
And it also isn't it like it's a convertible. So like
Okay, to make this bit work, let me see.
Wait, I thought we were in like the SUV that we had, or are we in the convertible that we?
We're in the convertible that I stole.
Oh, okay.
Is there no light? Is there no light?
There's the light from like the dashboard, and there's like, the light from the like headlights. Other than that, not really.
Can Trina give off enough light for a staring contest, or the phones?
Yeah, you could do the phones. You could like just turn on the torch on the pixies.
Yeah, like shake the phone and the torch comes on. I can't.
I can't hear Alaska. I don't know if you guys.
oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna have a ridiculous staring contest. Apparently.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna whisper to Kronk. Isn't Kyler part fish?
I don't know if that means he can't blink, like fishies blink. That just means they can see underwater. We're not underwater.
I don't know if they blink.
Surely they do. Hey, Kyler, do fish blink?
No, don't. Shh.
I mean, hey, Kyler, you look great today.
Good job. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kyla's just gonna hold with no strain on the face, just pretty relaxed, pretty chill. Just
Lilith is gonna cast Charm Person.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't think that lets you tell them to do things.
Doesn't that have to be a hostile entity?
Nope. It doesn't.
No.
What's the save?
Shit.
What's the save?
A Wisdom saving throw of 16.
That's a 15.
Yo.
So just gonna go.
Let me see. Let me get the exact wording of this up so we know what can be done.
Can I do this?
Duration 1 hour.
Regards you as a friendly acquaintance. That's basically what we
Nothing
have.
changes.
Nothing has changed.
I can't charm you to blink. I can't do that.
Charmed creature can't attack the charmer target, and you have advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature. But I'm a player.
goddamn it.
Are you gonna roll an ability check to see who blinks first?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I'll send that to you then. Do we just like right click 2DM? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
What am I doing?
So does Lilith get an advantage on this because of what the fuck she did, or no?
I don't think anything like regards you as a friendly acquaintance. That's where we're at right now.
I also don't know that anything changes.
Okay, fine. It didn't do anything, but someone
was
tell me what to click.
If you
Come up
right
here.
click con save and then send to Dungeon Master.
Right click it. Or
I-
you could just.
Okay, I right clicked. It's a mouse trackpad. There's no right.
It's a 2-finger one.
Yeah. it
Ooh
is.
woo.
The charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature.
Isn't a save not an ability check?
So,
Can't believe we're rose lawyering this. Fucking hell. This was a joke. I don't know what
This was a bit.
This was a bit, and then
Lilith doesn't
you-
lose the bit.
we've used spell slots and fucking rulings. Like it was a
Yeah.
fucking bit.
allow me to correct you there. Lilith hasn't lost the bit up until now. As Lilith, as like the torches are kind of shone, so that you can both see each other's eyes. You're like both just And Kyler's eyes stay open for an unnaturally long time. Until eventually, between the wind blowing through the convertible, the kind of little bits of dust and dirt that do pick up and fly towards you, and the general need for your eyes to blink, you do close your eyes first and have to kind of shake it out. So unfortunately, Lilith, you did lose the staring contest.
I'm in the back of a convertible. There's dust blowing.
Wait until tomorrow at breakfast. I'll get you then, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, would you like to explain anything, Kyler, or are you good?
So like as
Is this going to be your like? Is this going to be your like in the back pocket, or are you going to share it with the group?
I don't know what the DC of this insight would be. What do you think?
Well, it would be if you're trying to lie, it would be your deception against an insight.
All right, cool. I'll roll deception. Not to tell you. You wanna go for an insight?
Yeah. If anybody wants to see if Kyler was cheating, you can roll an insight.
Drazen doesn't give enough of a fuck to do anything.
What if it's just a morbid curiosity?
It's a nat 20.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh, it's a dirty 20.
Yeah, it's a dirty. Yeah, if it's a morbid curiosity, you can also just roll an insight.
It's an insight?
Yeah.
21?
Yeah, that's enough.
You don't. Neither of you know how, but this motherfucker is cheating. There's no way that Kyler Crestwave of all people,
I don't lose.
the one who called you guys landwalkers, is okay with his eyes being dry. This motherfucker
Just kind of
cheated.
gives a little giggle and like a wink and just kind of turns back around and then kind of like just chills. And then how long does charm last?
An hour.
Okay, so that's still on.
In about from this point in about 55 minutes. Like so you'll be back in
fuck
the
off.
time by then. You'll just get this wave of feeling of Lilith cast a spell on me.
Fucking bitch. Right.
It's like, do you know whenever you're in an argument and then like a day later you go,
You get a good comeback?
I mean, I understand that is a thing happens to people, but it doesn't really happen.
But yes, so about 15 minutes after this staring contest, you guys are back in the small village of Hell's Prairie. You're on the main road that kind of goes through. Where's the party going? Raisin Pit, back to the Mermaid's Tail.
Mermaid's Tail.
I don't think we have any reason to go to the Mermaid's Pit at all, right?
The Mermaid's Pit.
The Mermaid's
both
Pit?
of them-
Did you just combine both of them into one thing?
Pretend Kronk said it. Then
There's the Raisin Pit and the Mermaid's Tail, and then in between them is the brothel, the Mermaid's Pit.
It's filled
Oh,
with
yeah.
fucking
I've-
mermaids.
I've seen the lighthouse.
Can I get an armpit job? Like,
Ew.
I feel like you could just get a hand job at that point, right? Like,
it's not about that. It's about sending a message. I don't know.
It's not the pleasure, it's the challenge.
Okay.
Do you guys think that mermaids could piss their pants?
Miley Cyrus said it best. It ain't about what's waiting on the other side, it's the climb.
Hearing Kronk say this, Drazian slams on the brakes and immediately speeds up again.
Geraldine is fully protected in Kronk's arms, but Kronk does go bonk off the seat in front of him.
Which, unfortunately, Kyler is in the seat in front of you, and because of the height difference, Kyler, you just get a Goliath skull to the back of the noggin.
Ow, dickhead! Wait,
It's not. That was totally Dre. What was that? Deer in the road, or you just a penis?
It was a hedgehog, if you must know.
Hey guys, where are we going?
We're going back to the Mermaid's Tail.
Is that not a weird name? Like what if I just named like an inn like the Human's Foot or something?
Have you not been to the Human's Foot?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
It's in the Udasid Diarchy.
Oh,
It's right next to the dragon's wings.
It's a dance club. Have you
It's right next to the CD shop.
These nuts. Ah!
It was that like pregnant pause we all just had before someone just blurted it out.
We all want
That
to
was
go
gold.
CDs.
We all went.
is anyone gonna take the bait even in character? Like,
yeah. So Jason's like, yeah, we're going back to the Mermaid's Tail. I want to check on Nestor, see if he's all right. Make sure those two guys didn't come back here and beat him up.
Nestor and the bandit fella, right? He's still ready to
Yeah.
start a life on the straight and narrow.
We put two guys up in the rooms, right? There was a guy that
Yeah,
Lilith
pretty
didn't murder, and then there was a head honcho who was quite rude.
Yeah, the head
We should-
honcho. I can't remember if you guys got the name of.
No, he said a man has many names.
Dead person number
yes.
3.
Allison.
The one I didn't kill?
The Aarakocra, Keldris.
Kelvis.
Yeah, that was the one that was like, "I'm gonna be better.
That was our informant.
I swear.
I'm a real boy."
Keldris was the grass.
Keldris was the grass. But yes,
You fucking.
as you guys head back to the Mermaid's Tail, which Kyler at this point you realize is not tail like Tail, it's tail like Tale.
That would be quite the discovery for Kyler. It has to be said.
What?
I've read about these. They're called homophobes.
God fucking damn it.
Instead of God damn it, does Kyler say God damn it?
That's a good one.
That's
I hadn't
now
actually-
canon.
God fucking damn it.
I hadn't heard that. I hadn't thought. I mean, I've got holy mackerel and like the deep like stuff playing the deep one. But yeah, cod damn it, yeah. Jesus crustacean.
Yeah, and the thing is that in the religion of the Deep One, the parents are the parents, and there's usually another set of adults who are kind of designated to look after the kid. They're the cod parents.
The Codfather.
Yeah, the cod father and the cod mother.
Look
Very
at how they
godparents.
massacred my.
Very Codparents.
Look at how they massacred my boy.
So you come to me on the day of my fish's school.
You come to me
Look at how
on the
they
day that my
mackereled
squid is
boy.
to be married. You ask me for justice, but you don't say Don Macaroni.
Good God.
You're a little fish in a big pond. Yeah, it's a big pond. It's the fucking ocean.
He has a whole
Big
new term to
pond
swimming
bird.
with the fishes.
The Codfather was a movie as well, because like I was like, this guy's like a dude from the Codfather, and like Joe Brown of the Sheriff, right? So it's
Yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna
fishy.
be swimming with the fishes.
Oh, cool.
As I'm gonna send them on a trip. It's a lovely trip. It's gonna be a wedding present.
Drazian parks up at the Mermaid's Tail, takes the keys because we did get keys.
Yeah.
And puts the keys with his other keys to the other car. The one that we were renting. And like before we go in, I'm gonna like grab Lilith and go, see you tomorrow. Do you mind? I think we should keep the car. I think it'll be quite useful to us. I obviously have to drive the Jeep back to the place. Do you mind driving this and then give me the keys back after? I really like the car. I want to keep it.
Who'd you say this to?
Who are you asking?
To Lilith.
To me, I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry. I lost it.
Drazian turns. She's like, "Look, obviously we need to take the rental car back tomorrow, but I really want to keep this one as well. So would you mind driving this one back, and I'll drop off the rental, and then I'll take the keys back off you afterwards."
Absolutely, I'll drive it.
Thank you.
You'll get it back without a scratch.
Without a scratch. There will be multiple.
Multiple.
And then I'm darting inside to check on Nestor.
Yeah. As you go inside, Nestor is currently behind the bar. Kind of doing some very like light work, still kind of nursing what little like his wounds a little bit, but making sure all the bottles are front facing, making sure all the glasses are clean, kind of going around and finding, like specifically like going and looking and finding places that are just a little bit dusty and like brushing it away, trying to occupy his mind. But sitting at the bar is Keldris, the Aarakocra, with a kind of this kind of like wooden, almost bamboo looking cup with some steam coming out of it. You assume it's some sort of tea or coffee or something. And as he kind of sits and drinks it, he looks up and he sees you all and he goes, "Oh, you're back. What? I'm surprised. I didn't want anything to happen. I just really didn't think you guys had it in you."
Was this Calnus or Nestor saying this?
This is Keldris.
Oh,
Nestor kind of like turns around as he hears Keldris talk and goes, "Oh, you're all back."
At this point,
I'd give you a hug, but he kind of motions to the broken arm that is in like a makeshift sling.
Think nothing of it, and I take one of my 2 remaining healing potions and I give it to Nestor, and I'm like, "Here, take this."
Keep it. I can heal him.
You
I
can
have.
do it? Okay.
I can do it.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm still in Chalice, so I
On
can
a
do it
scale
too.
of like 1 to 19 Mux, at what point would Nestor be healed?
Probably at about 6.
Okay, I'll take it. So Kyler's gonna lay a hand on him.
I feel like this is I don't know if any of you guys have seen the video, but from Dimension 20, there's a bit where the Dungeon Master, Brendan Lee Mulligan, is explaining, like, you guys are like adventuring heroes. This is a normal guy with like 5 hit points. And they're like, "Why did you create this cursed creature?" And it's like, he's not cursed. He's normal. He's just a guy.
He's just a little guy.
I remember that. That's the beginning of the 2nd season of Fantasy High, I think.
Yeah. So
like Nestor is just a guy. Like after like 6 hit points, he's like back to full.
I say to Nestor, the sheriff is not going to interfere with you anymore or give you any more trouble. I've made it so he's not going to bother you.
I'm not going to have to pay any more
No.
protection money?
No, he's going to leave you alone.
And if you do, for some reason, here's the Mandem's phone number, and it'll send a text to every one of us. I set it up myself, maybe with a little help from somebody else, but it'll send us a message to every single one of us saying, "Hello, my name is Nestor, I'm in danger, you'll have to type that bit. And we'll come rescue you, okay, Nestor? Because that means the sheriff hasn't kept his word, and we can beat him up."
The sheriff promised us that he would not give you any more trouble, that he would leave you alone to do your business on your own, and there'd be no animosity or anything.
You see that Nestor kind of like takes the card, like the little card that you've wrote this kind of like group text number on, and he sits down, and after a moment of silence, tears just start falling down his face, and you can see he's like visibly shaking and like crying.
I just like lay a hand on his shoulder and I'm like, "We look after our friends."
And you just kind of hear between like him like catching his breath, you can just hear him go, "I haven't seen my wife and daughter in about 6 years now, because I sent them out of the town so they weren't in danger. I stayed so I could keep making money to send to them. I can bring them back.
You can.
And he kind of collapses in on himself, crying. And you maybe gather that he just needs this. Like, this is just under a decade of stress just lifted off of his shoulders.
If they're left to have that moment, has Keldris, like, obviously he was in the encounter. Has he got any wounds on him that are visible?
No, he was like, he watched you like annihilate all of the people that he came
And then
here with,
surrendered, yeah.
and he just dropped his weapon and was like, no.
In that case, while that goes on, I'll have Kyler kind of sit down across from Keldris and like kind of hold out both of his hands, like, you can take my hands, and like, so what's it gonna be, tough guy? What's next for you?
I might open a bakery.
A bakery? I've
Geraldine noticeably perks up.
It's where you make bread.
Yeah, and lots of other things. Yeah, there's not much of a chance here in Hell's Prairie for something. For such a small town, we have 5 bakeries. I don't know why.
We can give you a lift.
I would like that.
We can give you a lift back to the last big main town, because we need to drop the car outside off anyway. So, and there'll be 2 cars. So, we'll drop you up there. You can start up whatever life you choose.
You can see he reaches into like the little pouch that he has on the side, and he pulls out 2 kind of like linen wrapped objects. He sets them both on the table and he unwraps them, and one is what looks like donut holes. Just like a collection of like donut holes that are like very lightly dusted in what looks like cinnamon sugar. And he sets it down, and the other one he unwraps, and it is 2 not freshly made, but like 2 like, what's the word, like recently made and like still keeping their form really well, bear claws that he opens up. He opens up the linen and he sets them down, and he goes, "It's one of the few things to do around here that isn't dangerous, so I took it up, and I learned from the 5 different bakeries, and I think I could go out and make a living with it. I already have a name for the restaurant, for the bakery. Well,
What's the name?
I come from this town. I lived here. I was raised here. And I think my baking will reflect that. So I'm going to call it, because I'm from Hell's Prairie, it's Hell's Kitchen."
I like the sound of that. And if you'll have us, I'm sure we'd quite like to visit it sometime.
That'd be excellent. You could even find a friend who sells ice cream and attach it to the shop, and then you could call that shop Hell's Dairy.
No, I don't like ice cream, but I
like ice cream.
Geraldine's gonna shuffle up and get some of like a donut hole.
I call a bear claw. If you don't mind, if that's like actually samples for us.
No, go right ahead.
Oh,
Go right
Lilith
ahead.
takes the other bear claw and was just like, anything with hell in the name. It feels like home.
I would like to point out that wasn't me shooting down Kronk. Birds cannot have ice cream. That is an actual fact. So,
I
No
thought
wonder.
Yeah, really, yes and him there.
I really thought the ha 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 no was really funny.
yeah, birds cannot eat ice cream. Contains large amount of dairy milk, and birds cannot digest large amounts of dairy milk. Birds, it isn't toxic, but it can cause
Make it sorbet instead.
it can cause the gates to
El
open.
sorbet.
Keldris, what's the name of the lieutenant upstairs?
I don't know if I should tell you that because he might come looking for me.
I mean,
Alright.
I guess how important is it really? Aren't we really kind of done with everything?
I just if it's all right with everyone else, I'd like to go have a last word with him.
All right, I'll come with you.
Don't feel like you have to, bud. I'm not going to do anything you wouldn't do.
I just meant in case you needed somebody to look big and strong. An intimidation factor, if you would. That's a lot of syllables for me.
You needed someone who wasn't a twink.
Kyler's a twunk, if anything. Okay, so that's a pretty impressive strength.
Kyler is built like High School Musical 1 Zac Efron.
Pretty much.
That is so accurate. I love it.
It's kind of like like a sort of
We're all in this together.
we know swimmer's build, literally like a swimmer's build. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you want to come, you can come, Kronk. I don't mind. But just take this, and Kyler's gonna hand him like one of the charms off his wrist, and pass it over to him. Just stick that on.
All right.
Kronk
puts on a charm on his wrist, I suppose.
and Kyle's gonna trudge up to the room, to go look for him.
Yeah, he is still in the room. As you open the door, you see once again this kind of half-orc, very, at this point, like busted in, like, cheekbone. The nose is slightly off-center. One of the tusks is kind of broken. The head is, like, shaved. It already was before, but the head is, like, shaved. And he's, like, sitting, like, leaning over on the bed. And as you come in, he turns and he goes, "You're back. What do you want?"
What was the music that you put on?
Oh, I put on Pharrell's Happy on repeat. So you're just walking in and that's still been playing this whole time.
Yeah.
Did that get turned off while we were gone, or
was it playing? No, did it die, or did it just continue for like 7 hours?
I put it on like 48-hour YouTube playlist. So still going.
Yeah, might be crazy what I got to say.
In this world, however, it's Feral, the Aarakocra, with his signal flap, with his hit song Flappy.
Flappy. That's yep.
Because I'm flappy.
Come along if you feel like you can fly over roofs.
The Aarakocra bard, Bell Farrell, like
Bill Farrell.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just still playing. So you should probably turn that off before you want to intimidate him or something.
It'll be Farrell Billiams.
Farrell Billiams. Kyla's gonna, turn off the playlist and then kind of reach out with Trina and like slice the bonds of this guy, like from like he's like tied up behind the hogtied.
Yeah.
And he's gonna look at him and just go, "Stand up, you miserable pile of pus."
He does kind of stand up. And there's a moment where, like, you can see that he turns his body to lunge at you, but as he does so, there's like a sickening kind of crunch, and you watch as one of his legs gives out underneath him, and he kind of falls to one knee.
Kyler is going to approach him and use the rest of his lay on hands on him, but like aggressively, like to grab him like by like the scruff of the collar and like drag him to his feet with the rest of his lay on hands points.
Okay.
To heal him for 13 points of damage.
As he kind of is pulled up, you hear another sickening crunch as, focusing where your lay on hands goes, you forcefully reinsert the bone that had just dislocated with a and you watch as his, while it is technically healing, his face winces in pain as the joint kind of goes from this and then forcefully itself back into place.
I really don't like you. But I am...
The feeling's mutual.
I'm obligated to give you two choices. And one of them is that you can try and overpower me. I've given you back your ability to stand up. Or you can do me a favor. And you can make sure that I don't trust any of you to have honor, but I can trust that you will all have some kind of fear.
What's the favor?
I want Kyler to use Kyler's channel divinity of Visions of the Trenches to kind of just make the entire room sort of become covered in like black rain and mist, and Kronk, wearing the charm, like has, you know, I mean, the thing is, it's just enemies within the thing, but like that's just a little, you know, there's a little protection there. As the room kind of like darkens and thunders, and Kyler kind of reaches out to put a hand on his head as this effect goes in and says, I want you to be afraid of me and to make your boss afraid to come back with it.
As you activate Visions of the Trenches, Kronk, to you nothing changes. The room is the same as it always was. But Kyler has one hand on the scruff of this orc's collar, and the other hand in almost the vision of a pastor giving a holy revelation to one of his congregation, as Kyler puts his palm against the forehead of this orc. What the orc sees, as Kronk and his form fades out of view, the room darkens. Where was once a wooden roof, now an endless expanse of sky and thundering rain clouds. The walls fall away into the ocean that now surrounds him as he looks down to the floor and sees stars. But this is not the sky. This is the reflection of the sky, reflected in the endlessly deep waters as he looks down, and he begins to see 2, 7, 14, 30. Endless amounts of black tendrils and tentacles creeping up from the dark waves and depths, reaching closer. One's beginning to wrap around his wrists, his ankles, and as he looks back at you, your form is dark blue, your eyes white. As you tell him this, and as the snot runs down his nose, his eyes pouring tears, his body convulsing, he says, we'll never come back Get me out of here. We'll never come back. We'll never come back. Please, get me out of here.
And then when he starts when after like when he starts that, Kyler lets it continue for like 10 seconds, and then eventually he's back in the room as swiftly as it started as ended, and Kyler kind of grabs him like and takes like a tissue, puts it in his hand, and just kind of leans into whisper and goes, "Run and tell your boss," and then just like moves out the way of the door.
He grabs the tissue and he kind of wipes around his face, and as he looks down at the tissue, it is wet in his hands, which throws him back to the vision he has just had. And he lets go of the tissue and just runs out of the room screaming and crying, somehow mustering up enough force to actually knock Kronk out of the way.
Ooh.
And just running. This is not like anxiety. This is not being a little bit scared. This is the most primal version of fear. This is the dark and the unknown have touched his soul and his mind, and he is gone, affected by whichever eldritch horrors he had witnessed in your vision.
And then, almost like it's nothing, Kala kind of like swings the trident up over his shoulder and looks at Kronk and goes, you can keep that. I mean, shark have loads of teeth and they don't need them all." And then kind of swans out of the room and kind of heads back downstairs to with the group as.
Kronk, right as Kyler's about to exit, says, "Wait a second. Do you have another one?"
Another bracelet?
Yeah.
And Kyler kind of rolls up his sleeve, and there's like fucking hundreds. It's like, yeah. This is from a hammerhead, and this is from a sperm whale, and this is from a great white. What would you like?
What did this one come from?
Hold on. What whale?
That one is from a basking shark.
A basking shark. I could go with a hammerhead on this one.
Tyler
And
pulls it off.
so
There you go.
Kronk takes it, and so this is just a little bit of flavor, but Kronk moves it up from his wrists, and he wraps the necklace around 3 fingers and kind of ties it there. And at level 5, Monk's unarmed damage dice increases to 1d6 instead of from 1d4. So now the shark teeth are going to increase the damage that Kronk does when he punches the shit out of people.
Fuck yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Kronk has the ocean equivalent of brass knuckles.
Pretty much.
Obsessed.
It looks good, man. It looks good. Yeah.
Then you could just slide them down when they're not in use, and you can slide them back up. Just flavor-wise, you know.
I don't like people like that. I'm gonna go for a shower and go to bed, I think. I'll see you later, buddy. And just
all right.
Goes to have a shower before a long rest, you know, restore the watery goodness.
Kronk will go down and be like, "Everything's fine. Don't worry." And sort out rooms and stuff, you know.
About 2 minutes prior to Kronk coming down and saying, "Everything's good," the rest of the party and Keldris and Nestor all watched this, still relatively large compared to the rest of you, half-orc run, like, crying, screaming, shitting, coming through. And like is like moving with such disregard for his own safety that he like slams into the doorway and gets like knocked on his ass, and he just gets back up and like wrestles the door open and just runs out into the dead of night screaming.
Geraldine continues to eat her donut holes.
Yeah, Drazian quickly looks and goes back to whatever the fuck he's drinking at this point, because I will have ordered a drink. It's been a very long day.
Nestor has just said, like, take your pick of anything.
Oh yeah, Lilith is drinking with Drazian and munching on a bear claw.
Yeah.
Bronk comes back down. That's my bear claw.
I'm gonna
You've got
collect.
so many scary knives. You couldn't have just like cut it in half. Not with the poison one, but like with just you've got so many. You've got clouds, literal. It's fine. I'll just have a donut hole.
I'm gonna collect some tea and blueberries from, I guess, behind the bar or something, and I'm gonna go curl up at a table with like a candle and start unloading all of the writing onto the benches that I collected.
As you kind of go and like pick that up, Nestor kind of catches his breath and goes, I remember last night you had your blueberries that you were eating. In the kitchen, there's a blueberry pie for you.
Geraldine, who had just stopped sobbing, just gives Nestor a hug. Back into tears and gives Nestor a hug. And goes and gets the blueberry pie.
He gives you a hug. And he kind of he makes his way back up to the bar. And Lilith, as you're like sitting drinking with Drazian and kind of eating your bear claw, you see he kind of looks at you a little bit longer and he goes, "You remind me of my daughter. She never liked the way that I was so... She called me boring. I just like my routine. I get up, I open the bar, I open the doors, and I welcome in people for food and merry times. She said it was a life she couldn't see herself living. I never wanted her to live it. Ever. I just wanted to be able to provide, to give her the money to live whatever life she did want. But there was sadness behind the eyes. Like she never wanted to be that mean, but it's the only way she knew how to talk. And he looks at you and he goes, I see the same sadness in your eyes. And he kind of reaches over the bar and he wipes clean the smudged lipstick on your face. And he goes, hopefully it's not there for much longer. And he brings out, you hear, he kind of leans down beneath the bar and you hear the rustling of keys and a clunking as a lock is opened, and he brings out this fine golden like colored glass bottle, and where would normally be like the stem of a bottle to a cork, it is designed in the shape of a unicorn's head. And he unscrews the horn and pours 2 shots of it, and as the liquid falls, it is this golden pearlescent liquid that like shines as the light bounces off it. And he screws the lid back on and he puts it back underneath. I would love to be able to give you the full bottle, but I want to save it to share with my daughter. And he slides the 2 shot glasses over to each of you, nods his head and goes into the kitchen to get the blueberry pie for Geraldine.
I'm gonna wait till he comes back before drinking the shot.
Okay. It takes a moment before he comes back. And in an uncharacteristic moment for Nestor, it maybe catches some of you guys off guard, especially the two of you sitting at the bar. You hear just from the other side of the door, "Oh shit!" And he kind of comes back out, and he's now got one hand wrapped in a cloth. "It wasn't cooled down properly. I burnt my hand." And he sets the still warm blueberry pie on the table and slides it across over to Geraldine. "It's been a long day and I need some rest." He takes keys off of his belt and throws them over to Drazian. "Lock up when you're done." And heads up the stairs.
Thank you for the bear claw.
Kel just leans over. That was me. But
Oh, whoops. I forgot who gave me the bear claw. There's too many names.
Before
bye, Dad.
before Nestor goes off, I like raise up the shot glass and down it and give him a nod.
As you down this liquid, it is for you the taste of honey and the scent of pears. A familiar scent of your mother's garden in the city palace in Avon many years ago, where she grew flowers, kept bees, and always had some sort of pressed fruit drink that you never really wanted to try, but the smell of it was so strong that no matter where you were in the garden, you could taste it at the back of your throat.
It smells, the flowers specifically, it smells of honeysuckles and magnolias. And anyone that's like paying close enough attention to Drazian will see his like eyes are a bit watery and like a single tear like drops onto the bar.
And as your shot is still sitting in front of you, Lilith, if you want to take it or not, it's entirely up to you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take it.
As you down the shot, there is a smell that catches the very back of your nostrils. It's sharp, citrusy. It's a perfume. And after a moment, what tastes like rose water and peach travels down your throat. It doesn't take you long of trying to place the scent before with the force of a truck, it hits you of whose perfume this was. You smell, for the first time in many moons, your sister's perfume. And it catches the back of your throat a little bit. Not in a way that tastes bad, in a taste of melancholy. And as you set the shot glass down, they're both done. Is there anything any of you would like to do before you call it a night and begin either your journey or your further adventures in Hell's Prairie in the morn?
Two things. I would like to like go over beside. Is Geraldine sitting up at the bar? Is Geraldine at the table that she had gone to?
I'm assuming I like got the pie from Nestor and like, or like he put it down and I don't know, brought it to like I'm at a table in the corner like unloading lots of paper and like books and journals and whatnot onto like the benches and chairs around me.
Okay.
Looking like I'm cozying up for.
Yeah, he would have like pushed it towards you, and then you would have like lifted it over to this table.
Okay. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over and sit beside Geraldine, and I'm like, look, I am not gonna pretend to know all your shit, and from what I can tell, there's a lot of it. But I do have your back, as do I know the rest of them do too. But I wanted to say it and let you know that whatever this is, whatever that shit is, you don't have to deal with it alone.
I'm just gonna nod but not make eye contact.
At that point, Drazian nods to her. He's gonna get up, lock the door, and he's like, well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm shattered, so I'm gonna go and get a really good night's rest.
Drazian, could you toss me those keys?
Sure. Just make sure lock up anything that needs locked up. I've locked the front door, but just make sure everything else is locked down. Yeah.
You've got it. I want Kronk. Is there like some kind of like register at the bar, cash register, or something like that at the bar?
There's kind of like a little, like a float box.
Yeah, something where Nestor stores the profits, something like that.
Yeah.
I assume there's a key to that on the keychain, or
yeah, there is. There's a number of keys, and after like fiddling for a bit, you find the right one.
I want to go in there, and I want to unlock it. About how much gold is in there right now?
Right now, you see, firstly, there's kind of like a docket, for this month. And over the entire course of this month, and this is towards the latter half of the month, this is maybe like, the 23rd or so of the month, he's only made about 25 silver.
Okay.
Kronk, he hasn't put the stuff that you guys gave him yesterday in the docket yet. And there's I think it was altogether 10 gold between the lot of you from the previous night.
Kronk's gonna reach in. I'm not being very obvious. I could roll like stealth or sleight of hand if you want me to, but I don't want this to be like super obvious to the rest of the party. But Kronk is gonna go ahead and
from Nestor.
Yeah.
I think some people thought this might be where I was going, but no, Kronk's gonna.
No, I figured.
Kronk's gonna drop 200 gold and kind of line the inside of it, just in the box. And can Kronk like evaluate how with his jewel crafting regimen? Can you evaluate like how
much
valuable like a gem would be worth?
Yeah.
Like I want to know that 6-inch, the one that you said is kind of sharp, might make for a good dagger. I want to know like that 6-inch jagged crystal. What do you think that might be valued at?
Looking at it, it doesn't have the shine, luster, or clarity that a normal gem would. It does seem to be made out of good, sturdy material. It has a nice color. For gem making, it's not super valuable. The best that you can place it at would be about 75 gold pieces. Going and getting it evaluated by somebody who maybe knows magical items, like magical materials, and their worth could possibly be more after that. Because
Okay.
you assume that it being in that room, it had some sort of magical properties.
Okay. Kronk takes a look at it and decides that maybe this isn't the place to put this because he doesn't really know much about it, and it's a little bit sharp, and it's not like shiny, like it wouldn't make a great immediate sell to somebody who doesn't really know what they're looking at. He kind of pockets it. He leaves the 200 gold in there. He locks it up, and he...
Here you go, Nesta. I'll give you 200 gold and a stone with a demon inside there.
And this is a demon stone. Have fun.
There's a little ghost girl. She'll laugh at night time.
Before Drazian heads upstairs, he like goes over to Lilith and is like, "So, what we've done for him, how much it meant to him, it's worth it. Only small bits at the start, but stuff like this matters." And Drazian is just gonna like put a hand like tenderly on her shoulder, and then he's just gonna walk straight upstairs.
And then inflict wounds.
Eldritch Blast!
Before...
I'm a member of NoFap. No one can know we kissed.
Sorry, I am a stoic. I must kill.
And Drazian uses a power word kill.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that spell scroll I picked up, guys.
Power word kill. When Kyler comes out of the shower, would he be able to like send a text home? Like now that the adventures kind of come to a conclusion, just saying like, "Mom, Shannon Popsicle. Hope you're good."
My dearest mom.
Yeah.
And Popsicle.
As soon as I said it, I was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh,
My dearest darling, it's Momsy and
Fuzzy
Popsicle.
Popsicle. Dear father.
Dear father. And UK thanks for a moment. It's like, I wanted to let you know that I'm safe, and that I miss you, and Shen, and Finlay and Grace. And today has made me very grateful for our home and for you. I don't know if you remember Theron, but they're a shell friend of Shen. And they mentioned something I wondered if you knew anything a bit more about. Do you know about an R&D department with the name Boulevard? Missing you loads, Kyler, your loving son. And he's gonna turn the phone off and just kind of flump over, like with like a sort of banyan around his waist and nothing else. Just
Not a problem. Drazian is already upstairs and going to sleep by this point, yes?
Drazian's gone upstairs to go to his room and immediately gets out his phone to text Dran. It's like, "We need to talk."
Okay. The message is sent. It is currently well into the evening. So you don't get the little red receipt, but it is sent.
Cool.
Lilith and Kronk, what
Lilith
about
is-
yourselves?
Lilith is taking she'll put 100 gold on the table on the bar and take a bottle of something and head on upstairs with Malort. Not saying a word to anybody.
Okay.
Good night, Lilith.
Not a word.
paddle with that dinghy.
She's just gonna wave the bottle as she's walking away.
Kronk doesn't take offense either way. He understands. Scary knife lady is a scary knife lady.
Kronk. What about
Kronk.
yourself?
Kronk's behind the bar. He's like, always fancy kind of being a bartender. He like, Nestor had already kind of like already turned a lot of the bottles himself. So Kronk like turns a bottle around and goes, "Oh, you don't belong there," and like turns it a little bit. He kind of like is being a bartender. He pulls out a little shot glass and like pours a little for himself, and he goes, "Oh, that's a nice pour." He's just kind of behind there. And then he's like, he like takes a shot. He's like, "Oh, that's top shelf stuff. Let's put you back up there," and like just like does that. He just has like a little fun time to himself. Kronk can entertain himself pretty easily. But after that, he puts he takes Lilith's gold and like puts it in the middle of the table and makes like a little fun pyramid out of it. Um, just so because like 100's a lot, and so he makes maybe a little castle or like a little pyramid or maybe like a little heart, maybe I heart Nestor, maybe not that. But he like makes a little
Crom sitting here with not like an easy bake oven, but a my first bartender's playset.
That's what my kids are gonna have.
He washes all the glasses, and he goes and he checks to see if like the windows have locks or whatever, because he doesn't really know. He's just got a bunch of keys on a thing. He goes, well, I guess guess I take this with me. I don't really. All right, and he goes upstairs with him, and he sets it on his bedside table, and he lays down and he goes to sleep.
Geraldine, as everybody else has gone to sleep, you sit in the corner of the bar, pie still warm, a slice cut out of it, sitting beside you. The books and journals spread across the table, the ones which interest you the most, open in front of you first. The night is going to be long. Do you stay awake all night, or are you going to get rest at some point?
I think she's going to go into it with the intention of staying up all night.
There is, you can see up at the bar, a coffee maker, which will be your closest companion through these wee hours of the night. And as the night chugs on, as the morning sun begins to creep in, the yellow overtones beginning to spread through the sky, the beginning calls of the birds echoing through the streets of Hell's Prairie. Your eyes are fading in and out, as you now do have a level of exhaustion. Your phone. Bring. A text from a number that you know. Your older sister. A single sentence. Causing trouble, are we? And that is where we're going to leave tonight's session. Ooh.
Shit.
Thank you very. It's been a very roleplay intensive episode, very emotional episode. Legitimately, if anybody needs any form of aftercare after this episode, I'll stick around for a bit and talk and give you guys any answers or any talks that you may need. If I went too far on any topics, let me know. If I'm like kind of edging towards, listen, this is not what I'm comfortable with, let me know.
Edging.
For people watching as well, I know there's quite a lot of topics that were covered tonight. If any of them do affect you, please feel free to talk to someone. They can be quite serious topics, and I understand that, and I never want this to be a place that is unsafe for people to come and watch. There's loads of numbers that you can go and look up, and you can talk to people. I know in the States I unfortunately don't know any of the numbers in the States. I know over here there's some. But yes, very fun, very heavy episode. Thank you guys all so much for coming, and thank you all the players for being a wonderful, wonderful cast, as always. Hopefully you guys had fun.
Absolutely.
Hopefully there was enough in this for you guys to kind of sink your teeth into your characters, get to know them a bit more as we explore and find out more about them.
Sink my teeth into someone else's character.
Oh, Drazian's door was unlocked.
And yes, like I said, I think other people have promoted some stuff. There's not Friday coming, but the Friday after, there's the Citadel one shot.
That's
that
not going to be
Eli is
nearly
running.
as fun. It's going to be very grimdark and broody. And like, it is not a happy place, but it is fun. So.
It's fun in a
Eli,
worse
do you
way.
need a villain?
My wife, Alex Reyes 98 in chat there, who said all nighter, will be playing either Simpsons Hit and Run or Brat's Rock Angels or Forever Diamonds. Hasn't decided yet. At some point this week, so go give a follow and you'll get the notification whenever she goes live. And other than that, everybody keep yourself well, keep yourself healthy. Look after yourself in whatever way you can. If you're not having a good week, do something to make it better. If no one's told you it yet this week, I love you. We love you. You are appreciated. You are wanted. You are loved. And that's all I have to say. If anybody else would like to say anything, go right ahead.
It's Pokemon Day tomorrow. Come play Pokemon. We'll have a good time.
Yes, Pokemon Day tomorrow.
9 p.m. GMT, so usual time this starts. Play some Pokemon. Be much less emotionally taxing than D&D.
If you enjoy chaos, go follow Cheers It's Katie, because there's nothing more chaotic than her streaming schedule.
She's not even here. Did you just scout Chris's sister for no reason?
Yep.
Well, it's because
Katie.
It's because Katie and I are doing a Dragon Age Inquisition playthrough fairly sporadically. I've been in Alaska's all week, helping her kind of deep clean the apartment, which has been very housewife of me.
Male
but
wife.
I'm hoping to
Male life.
a male wife girl boss of me. But I am hoping to stop in and hopefully play some more Dragon Age Inquisition. But that's over on her channel because she's the one who's making the story decisions.
Indeed. Toasty Cat, I still don't know what you prefer to go by.
I answer to both of them. It's fine.
Streams every day, every other day?
It's pretty much every day at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's tomorrow's WoW raid. I'm gonna take Tuesday reset off. It's just a lot of WoW and a lot of cozy games. So if those are your thing, you can come hang out.
Pretty much. See as long as you follow at least one of the guys in this campaign, you'll never run out of something to watch on Twitch. So, loads of fun, loads of variety, and then every Sunday, right here, same time, same channel, you can come and see us all bring that chaos together into a single place.
Will come in, me and I'm not sure which of the rest of the people are going to come join me on Tuesday, but hopefully somebody will. And we'll just.
I'm not in Spain this time. So
you're not in Spain this time, so Muxlow, along with hopefully some others, will come and join me on Tuesday here. It will be at 10 p.m.
Apparently have a job interview, so
Oh,
which I forgot about.
I've heard. We'll see.
They called me as I was prepping for this. I applied for this job like a month ago.
Well, at least me and Mux will be there. There may be more, there may not be, but that'll be on 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Fucking BST or whatever it's called. I can't remember. 10 p.m. Ireland time.
10 p.m. Celtic Standard Time.
Celtic Standard Time.
Celtic Standard Time.
That is what's going to happen on Tuesday at 10. That's the next live thing we'll be doing here on this channel. There's, aside from the D&D stuff, there's not going to be a lot of me streaming for a little while. I might do an occasional thing, but like I'm prepping so much for this fucking one shot, so I do not really have the time to be doing a lot of solo streaming. But we'll be back here on Tuesday, and then we'll be back again on Sunday. D4 RPG are live, so I think what we'll do is we'll raid into them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really, really good session. Thank you very much, Max.
Happy to be back.
Very much
Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Max.
thanks,
Excellent.
guys.
Love you all. Mwah.
Love you all.
Bye.
See you later. Bye. And we're out.
Oh God.
I
Beautiful.
think I have to throw up.
Yeah, go take care of
Go
yourself.
bomb, girl.
For like the last hour, I felt very nauseous. So sorry my RP was bad. I was like, I think I'm gonna puke, and now I think I'm gonna go do that.
Absolute Tao behavior.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
go-
staying in it.
Take off your headphones, probably. but-
No, it's gonna be full 360 audio of me puking, is what I thought.
I'm gonna BRB, but I will be
Delicious.
back if anyone wants
Yeah,
to.
Bye.
same.
I'm
My dog's
gonna-
been alerting for like an hour, so I'm gonna go deal with all the things.
Cool.
I'll be back if